nice day off, nice holiday weekend, Constitution Day.
Yeah, it was nice. Saw the
Yeah.
fireworks last night at Cayman Bay.
Yes, I
Those were
missed
good.
it, but it's always a good time.
Well, it's up on my Facebook if you want to see a high-speed replay.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. I'll check it out. All right. So, in today's headlines, the police are investigating an armed robbery at the Savannah gas station that took place, unfortunately, over the weekend. Friday night, shortly after 10 p.m., two armed men entered the gas station on Shamrock Road in the vicinity of Homestead Crescent in Savannah. And reports are that the one was armed with a firearm and he guarded the door while the other man proceeded to jump the counter, to jump the counter and take money from the cash register. They then exited the gas station on foot in the direction of a church, which is right behind it. And they are described as 6 feet tall, wearing blue pants, a black hoodie, and white gloves. The one who
White
stole the
gloves.
money is also about 6 feet tall, wearing a black hoodie, white gloves, and blue and white pants.
So they gave them the white glove treatment.
Yeah. Yeah.
They should be
So-
dubbed the white glove robbers.
Right. So anyone who might know who these individuals are, please contact the RCIPS. The Ombudsman's office has had another ruling from their division, and they've essentially said that anytime government has an FOI request, they should preserve the records once the FOI request is made. I mean, this seems logical, but they're advising organizations to preserve records whenever an FOI request is made. And this advice was issued after the ombudsman found during an FOI appeal that a Zoom recording of a court proceeding was deleted after the request for the video was made. I mean, that sounds kind of wild, right? So they have reminded entities such as the court's office that this should not be done.
Okay.
I mean, it almost sounds like, was it deliberate? I mean, that's just crazy. But anyway.
I'm not sure if there are, I guess you'd have to download that Zoom call.
Yeah,
and
but that's like the easiest thing in the world to do, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. All right. So our mental health facility, the long-awaited long-term residential mental health facility in East End, still being delayed. However, they feel like they're one step closer, as they have said that they have hired a residential care manager. So this is, I suppose, good news. And now they're looking at an anticipated start date of September 2023. So the new director is Marcia Amoy Mullings Thompson, and she's going to be the incoming director of the name of it is Point Siena Residential Mental Health Facility in East End. And she is the former CEO of Bellevue Hospital, which is the largest psychiatric facility in the Caribbean. And she had overall responsibility for the day-to-day management of that hospital, which has over 500 patients and 600 staff members. So she has taken up the post as of July the 10th, or that's coming up next week. And yeah, we'll see. So hopefully September. It's been a long time coming. One final tidbit of news: the world's largest cruise ship. Did you see this monstrosity?
I have seen pictures of it. Yes, I saw it on your Facebook as well.
Yeah, so it's set to sail in January of 2024. It's pretty huge. So it passed its first ocean trial in Finland.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah, this is the Royal Caribbean International bringing this ship, and they're going to debut it in Miami.
What's
in
it called?
January. It's going to be called, oh gosh, let me see. Have they named it yet?
Yeah, I think
Icons of the Sea.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Icon of the Seas, nearly 1,200 feet long. We were able to hold 5,610 guests, 2,350 crew, 7 pools, 9 whirlpools, world's largest water park at sea, 6 water slides, including the tallest drop slide at sea, 20 decks, 40 bars and restaurants, lodging divided into 8 neighborhoods. It just sounds massive.
You know what I think about automatically? That's a lot of germs.
Not only that, but I'm thinking about the environmental impact. I thought we were trying to leave less of a carbon footprint around the place, but this sounds massive. But anyway, there you have it. Icon of the Seas. It's huge. And you go on that, do you need to even come off? Like, do you feel the necessity to come off of the cruise ship? It's pretty massive.
No idea. I'm not a cruise ship guy.
Yeah,
I think
me
they're
either to
cool,
think of. Yeah, I'm not either really. But
but I've never been on
anyway,
them.
those are some of your news headlines this morning.
All right, thanks, Sandy. We'll catch you on Bobo 89.1 FM. We'll see you tomorrow for the Wednesday headlines. All right.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, folks. Buenos dias. How are you guys doing? We have a little bit of time to kill this morning. So sit back and relax. I'm going to do some behind the scenes tidbits, including grabbing some photos and so on for today's show. We got a lot to talk about today. You know, we start one topic at a time and then we see how we get on with it. So let me just grab photos and then we will begin to get those all uploaded. How excited are you guys? Today's Tuesday. Let me do a little bit something different this morning. Let me use this. I'm going to pull my microphone down, so it almost looks like it's part of those microphones. Yeah, look at that. Y'all like that one better, or this one? That one, or this one? I think I kind of like this one better. Let's do a little something fun today. Good morning, everybody. All right, let me grab my links. We'll grab YouTube first. So let me just send this off to folks. Good morning. Okay. Let me see. Still trying to catch up on appointments and all that fun stuff. Facebook. All right, let me grab the Facebook link. Hold on. All right, just 2 minutes left, and we're going to be live on radio. So, those of you. All right, those of you on social, good morning. Stand by another minute. And let me send this out to everyone. I'm trying to be more organized in the mornings now. Summer break is here. So I see lots of kids are out of school. We're going to talk about Carnival today. We got a whole list of things to discuss. About 30 seconds left before we go live on radio. All right. My God. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
Bigger, better, bolder. The cold, hard truth is taking talk to the next level. Right here on Bobo 89.1 FM, Cayman's Community Radio.
We are still spilling the tea.
And committed to being part of the change that Cayman so desperately needs. Join Sandy Hill weekdays from 7:30 a.m. for Premier Access, Cayman Voices, Truthful Thursdays, and much more. Cayman's #1 talk show is now bigger, better, bolder, and more than talk. Getting results with hot topics, consumer reports, court exposés, and more.
I've come to set the record straight. I've come to shine the light on you. Let me introduce myself. I am the cold, hard truth.
Now, from the CMR studio in Grand Cayman,
Live direct.
It's the cold, hard truth. Now, join the conversation on 345-936-2626.
That number again is
345-936-2626.
Good morning, Cayman. Rise and shine. It's summertime. I think all kids are officially out of school now. Is that correct? But we are still here. Oh my gosh, I need my show phone. Hold on. Let me see if I can grab Miss Stacy. That's the one thing I forgot this morning. Where did I put my show phone? All right, hold on one quick second. It might be in the office with me. Let me give you guys a little bit of music while I grab my show phone. All right, beautiful folks. Found the phone, found the cable. Still unpacking from my week away. So I got backpacks and cables and all sorts of stuff all over the place, honey child. You know, when you go on vacation, you got to pack like clothes and all that fun stuff. In addition to that, obviously, I did the show remotely. So I also had equipment that I had packed up and stuff as well. So I feel like I'm still unpacking and getting all those things sorted out. So this morning I thought I was ready to go, and lo and behold, look at what I forgot the phone. Can't forget the show phone because y'all be burning up the phone lines. Good morning, everybody. I'm back with a vengeance. Hello, Miss Vernita, Alice, Diamond Princess, all my usual suspects. Miss Morna, I got something for you today. Yes, you. I've got your mug and it's ready. Evelyn, Miss Wee Wee, Siobhan is in the house. We'll talk about that monstrosity, the world's largest cruise ship. Ugh. Oh my Lord. Thank you, Evelyn. It's good to be back in my usual spots. Vacay mode done and over with. I don't plan on taking any more officially until October. So I think we are good for a minute. You know, if I throw in, Chuck says, sounds clear and up and running. Yay! There you go. Might do a little weekend trip here and there. Birthday coming up next month, so who knows? Midlife crises. I might do something. I don't know. All right, Miss Morna. We'll talk about that. Miss Felicia, Stephen from the UK, Alejandro. Good morning. Olivia's here. Stephanie Brooks says, good morning, everyone. Enjoy your day. Miss Iva Hart is here. Thank you. Thank you. She says, welcome back. Class is back in session. Oh, yeah. I hope y'all been behaving yourselves. Alejandro says, Sandy, hope you enjoyed. Took enough pictures. You got a lot to talk about this week. I know. Oh, my gosh. Where do I begin? Andy, joining us from La Ceiba. Good morning. Buenos dias. Marshall's in the house. Ms. Morna says, be careful. There's a couple empty seats in the classroom. Oh, yeah. We always keep the naughty corners reserved for the people of like Johan. He's just a little troublesome little boy. I imagine he was always in trouble in school. What do y'all think? He was always back talking to the teacher, probably. And back in those days, the teachers would take the rulers out and probably smack you in your knuckles. He probably got a lot of that too. Good morning to Miss Bonnie, joining us from East End. She says she's going to sit back. She said, everybody sit back and enjoy the show. Alejandro says he's living rent-free in the back of the classroom from day one. Oh my goodness. Miss Morna, Patricia is here. Jim is in the house. Thank you. Thank you. Corinne is here. Alejandro, Morna, Faith. So let me tell you just a little bit about the vacation. So it was family time. Hey, Charlotte, joining us from Scotland. My cousin, my husband's cousin, but hey, we're family. Cousin had a wedding. So she got married to her boyfriend, her fiance. They've been planning it for a little minute now. So it was nice. Gigi was the flower girl. This is her first time being a flower girl. So of course she was like super excited to be a flower girl. Yeah. And we actually did something special for her, which she was like on top of the world. She got her hair blow dried. Ooh, honey, chill. So she's only 6 years old. So we don't normally do very much with the hair. We just wash it, condition it, and braid it because she has a lot of hair. And so it's important to keep it, nice and conditioned. And so I let Miss Rocio do all that fun stuff, to be honest, because it's a lot of work. Oh, Lord, y'all don't listen. Just looking at it gives me anxiety. And y'all know I'm not a hair person. I'm the first to admit I didn't even do much with my own hair. And I used to have much thicker, longer hair. And I was like, oh, ponytail. that's the most that you're going to get from me. This girl has hair all the way down, all the way down. It's a lot. And so I decided early on from when she was a baby, I was like, okay, so I can either fight with the hair. The first 6 months, it was fine. It wasn't very much. I mean, she born a full head of hair. So I could just like brush it or whatever. But as it started to grow, I was like, The people at Tiny Tots were great. Big shout out to those ladies there. They would do it for me. So they'd put it like in little twirls and whatever. Always good to go. They'd like fix it up during the day. I was like, oh, perfect. So I never really had to learn much. And as it grew, I was like, this is how I imagine it. I can spend an hour plus of my time sitting here fighting, detangling with this child. She's crying. I'm getting upset. My last nerve being utilized. Or I can let somebody else do it who's a professional. It's not going to take them an hour. It's like we're in and out. They can condition it, wash it, braid it, everything. Half an hour, boom, we're done. And she enjoys the salon experience a little bit. And then her and I can do things that are not as stressful in either one of us. So it was really about picking and choosing my battles. And I was not willing to pick and choose this particular battle, child. But her hair continues to grow. So have a look at this. This is her wedding. This is her for the wedding. The hair was blow dried out. And when I tell you, I'm going to show you guys some pictures because my crazy brother-in-law, I'm cussing him this morning because he decided to send me photos, like 300 photos. I was like, dude, who sends 300 photos on WhatsApp? Like, what is wrong with you? Well, apparently my brother-in-law does. I'm like, nobody in their right mind does that. Anyway, big shout out to Delroy. No, sir. I gotta tell you, I got the brother with the Texans. The rest are like, no, honey child. But he took a few pictures that I thought were good. So, everybody, I imagine photographers now must be so pissed off because everyone wants to be the photographer. So we all have like smartphone cameras and everything. And, I have a DSLR camera. Like everybody wants to be the photographer, but obviously you're getting in the way of the photographers. So I can only imagine that a lot of them are like, honey child, get out of the way. What are y'all doing? Y'all are annoying us. I'm trying to find another picture that I can show you guys. The hair was just lovely and flowing. So it was, oh, this one's so cute. I'm going to show you this one of her and Marlon. And you know, people, yesterday I was somewhere yesterday and somebody said, I was about to ask if this is your daughter, but never mind. I can actually look at her and see that she is. Now, you guys know for a really long time, everybody has been saying, oh, she looks just like her dad. And nobody could see me and my own daughter. I was like, y'all need to stop it. Y'all are ridiculous. Redunculous. I'm like, of course she looks like me. You know, you always have one parent, I think, whose genes are like super. Is there a mosquito in here? Oh, good grief. I saw him slap him. Yes, there's a mosquito in here this morning. Oh my goodness. Don't worry, I soon get them sorted out. So I feel like there is always maybe like one parent who has more dominant genes. And of course, definitely Marlon and his family. So when she was first born, I got it. Like she looked a lot like him with the hair and whatever else. But you know, I could see, you know, even at probably 6-7 months. But you have to see my baby pictures to see how much she actually looks like me. You know, she might look like me right now because, of course, she tells me, "Mommy, you're fat. You need to lose some weight." And I'm like, "Yes, honey, child, I know." Constantly reminds me, "Yes, you need to go on a diet." I'm like, "Mm-hmm." Let me see if I can find another good one to show you guys. So yeah, so we blow dried the hair out, and let me see here. Yeah, these two are cute. You'll get an idea, sort of the length of it, but it's pretty long. There she is with Daddy, and yeah, it goes like all the way down her back, all the way down to like her thighs. So keeping it braided is just easier during school time. Trust me, I don't want this hair on the playground getting tangled up in God knows what, and people pulling on it and whatever. Zeus is already trying to pull on her hair, on her braids when he's playing with her. And I'm like, no, don't do that. But it was manageable, blow dry. But of course, you know, you always got to be, you still like try not to put too much product in it. But of course, you don't want it to frizz. And it was really hot and humid. It actually rained before the wedding started. And then it stopped. And so they were able to have the ceremony without any rain in the reception. So really, really nice. So congratulations to Sharicia and her new husband. Wishing them a lifetime of love, and more love. So good morning to Miss Juanita. She says that it's been a minute. She's back to be happy to be back in class. I'm watching this mosquito because the second he comes back in my peripheral, I'm going to, oh, I think that's him. He's still moving pretty quickly, which means that, oh, man. Oh, it's not a mosquito. It's one of those other flies. Those little ones with the little soft wings. Aw, I won't kill him then. I'll let him live to see another day. Yes, Siobhan, at least 300 photos my brother-in-law decided to send me on WhatsApp. I'm like, dude, who sends that many pictures on WhatsApp? It's crazy. Drop it in Dropbox, Google Drive, something. Oh, my goodness. But this is one of my favorite pictures here. Her and her dad. Oh, so pretty. So yeah, so she was the flower girl, her cousin from Tampa. He was the ring bearer, but they had him as like ring security. So he was wearing like a little security outfit. It was the cutest little thing. So he's wearing like a little security outfit and he had the rings and like a little security case. And he was like trying to be all serious. Ethan, he was like, I'm ring security. So super, super cute. Evelyn says, please keep her hair away from straighteners. Oh yeah, she doesn't really need it. I mean, she could do just a good blow dry. But you know what? I love her curls. And of course, when she got it blow dry, this is the first time she was so excited. She's like, oh my God, can I do this all the time? I'm like, no. I said, you know, one of these days, hopefully you'll be able to do your own hair and you will learn to love your curls because to me, those curls are everything. I mean, they're just so beautiful, but I also get that it's so thick with the curls. You know, probably an occasional blow dry as she gets older will make her life easier. So Evelyn says she looks like you with a touch of daddy. Marshall says she's a spitting image of her dad. Most people seem to think that. So Alejandro says they don't know what they're talking about. She got a lot of your looks. Sometimes I wonder if you look more like her. She got a lot of hair though. Yes, Siobhan says, talk about kids say the darnest things. Yes. The Indian hair, she definitely. But if you go back and look at some of my pictures too, you'd be surprised at how much hair I had when I was younger. Processing it is never a good thing. So I think I lost some over the years because of that. And also just not taking care of it as much. Like my aunt used to do it for me. So she was always, taking care of it and stuff. I'll try to find an old photo so you guys can see. It was very, very long and super, super thick as well. All right. So we had a great time. An entire week away. Oh God, lots of driving all over the place. What can I say? My husband likes to drive and he wants to show me everything and everywhere in Jamaica. One of the best experiences that we did have though is because he loves nature. He's a very good sort of cross section in his personality of he's high tech and IT and all that kind of stuff, but he also loves nature. He's into farming. So there's other things that you can really, really appreciate. So one of the fun things that we actually did is we went to this bird sanctuary, I guess. Oh my gosh, they had so many birds there just flying around freely, nothing caged. They have just created this amazing environment for the birds to live in, and they just love it. So we did bird feeding. I'm going to see if I can find a video because you guys are not going to believe this. So you guys know about the hummingbird of Jamaica. I don't know how many of you guys know this. It actually has the Jamaican colors in the bird itself. But these birds are just absolutely amazing. And this place allowed you to feed them. So they give you a little bottle with nectar, basically honey or sugar and water. And then the birds will come to you. So you kind of position your finger. I'll show you guys a picture here. You position your finger in a particular way, and then the birds will come and perch on your finger and suck from the little bottle. It's like the most amazing thing. The first time the bird landed in my finger, it felt a little bit weird. I'm not going to even lie. But let me show you guys these pictures. They're so amazing. But it was like one of those just cool experiences, right? To have a hummingbird come and just perch on your finger. And then they gave us food. The hummingbirds, that's all they eat is the nectar. And so then they gave us food. And let me see here now. And the food was for like some other birds. So some of them came and landed. But I was like the bird whisperer because all the birds kept coming to me. And my daughter was growing impatient because she's like, they're not coming to me. What's going on? But she was a little bit fidgety. And we're like, you gotta calm down because they're not going to come to you if you're moving all the time. So finally she got one to land on her finger. And it was just such a cool and amazing experience. I'm trying to see if I can find a video because it's just like one of those things where you're like, oh my God, they literally would just fly. And I had multiple ones. Let me see if I can show you guys this one. I had multiple birds trying to compete for my bottle. They were all over me, honey chill. I guess I'm just sweet. Them love the sweetness. All right, so let me show you guys this picture because this is pretty cool to have a hummingbird literally feeding out of your hand. All right, let me see if I can grab a few of these and show you. So it was a good time. Got to enjoy different parts of the island, which was fun. Experienced different things. Wish I had gotten more sleep though. I kept telling him, not every day do I want to be driving 4, 5, 6 hours a day just because you feel like you got to be showing me something in Jamaica. I'm like, honey, child, please, can I just put up my feet and relax and do nothing? Some people just don't believe in doing nothing on vacation. All right, let me show you guys these pictures. So look at this. This is pretty cool. So this is me, and there's the hummingbird. It has the green, the Jamaican green and black, which is in their flag. And I mean, I see why they're called hummingbirds because literally their wings move so fast. And when they're right by your ear, it kind of has almost like a humming sound. So yeah, this is me just sitting down there. You put your finger in front of the little bottle. You position the bottle, downwards a little bit so that they can suckle on it. And yeah, they literally come and just perch on your finger. They don't have to perch. They can do it like they can keep flapping their wings and then just do it that way. But I think it's a little bit easier for them if you do put your finger out. So here's a little video. So that, look
That
at,
is
look,
so cool.
see? So
That's not a hummingbird.
yeah, so there were other birds there trying to get some, but look at the hummingbird.
They are so
He just
cool.
came perched to my finger,
That one is called the yellow-faced grass squid.
and he's telling us all about the other one wanted some too. So literally, I had like 3 birds competing for me. Isn't that funny?
That is so cool.
What? That's not a hummingbird.
So she's like,
That
that's
one
not
is a
hummingbird.
finch.
Oh my god.
I forget what that one was
So
called.
cool.
You just said it, but
That one
anyway.
is called the yellow-faced grass squid.
Yellow face something. Anyway, we were learning all about birds. And so I think in this area, there's like thousands of these birds kind of all over the place. And it was just a super, super cool experience for the entire family to just feed hummingbirds. And then there's another one with a little bird eating from my hand. Let me see if I can show you guys this one. So yeah, had a good time. Glad to be back home. No place like home, far as I'm concerned, honey Jill. And I must tell you as well that the flight coming back was eventful. I was like, sometimes my mind kind of wonders how I'm just in the right place at the right time to catch a little news, honey Jill. But coming back, there was a lady who was having some chest pains, poor her. And so they had to call the ambulance as we arrived, as we were landing. They actually had to call the ambulance for her. And apparently she was in the hospital a couple days before that. And she, I guess, just wasn't feeling well. And so the ambulance had to come and take her off the plane. Really, really professional. Big shout out to the EMT staff. I thought that they did a fantastic job. Actually, just assisting her. And we were just delayed by a few minutes, but that was perfectly fine. And I hope she's doing well. I hope she's okay. All right, let me show you just a couple more and then we're going to move on. But yeah, these hummingbirds were so cool and pretty amazing. So I'm going to show you this other bird that was like feeding it in my hand. I forget what this one is called. There was a tons and tons of birds there. So yeah, the hummingbirds move. Whew, their wings move at the speed of light, man. I tell you what. I was like, wow, these birds are like really cool. Hold on a second now. Let me see if there's another one. Let me see here, honey chill. But these are the things you got to do. Go and experience, do things that allow your kids to experience life. Look at this little bird eating it in my hand. Literally. Look at that. He was just enjoying himself. Yep. Getting fed. But I always tell people, let your children have experiences. I feel like a lot of times we kind of focus on buying things for kids. Okay, that's fine, whatever. But allow them to have the experiences in life like this, because this is how they build those amazing memories, right? So, these are the things that they're gonna really, really remember, as opposed to, oh, I bought a new pair of shoes. Those shoes will be in the garbage before you know it. All right, check out this kind of close up of the national bird of Jamaica, the hummingbird. Look at their weight. Look at how they fly. Look at how fast. I think we tried to slow it down with slow motion. Look at that. But when I tell you those little wings be moving, honey, child. And he told us all about how they grow the tail. The females don't have the tails and stuff like that. It's only the males that do. And so it takes them a while for it to grow like that. So you can tell kind of how old they are based on, see, there he is. He's back again. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? You can kind of tell how old they are based on the length of that tail. But yeah, isn't that beautiful? Look at that bird. And it keeps like going back to grab some nectar. Right? And those wings are just, so in this instance here, I didn't put out my finger for him. I was just letting him free fly and get the nectar. But they're just amazing that they even can do that. And so, yeah, he kept coming back. It's a longer video. I'll post this one up a bit later on because this was pretty cool. So I did a little slow-mo on this. Yeah, look at his little wings flapping away. And when, like I said, when they buzz by your ear, it's that humming sound that you get to hear that makes you go, oh, now I know why they're called hummingbirds. So yeah, so this is me capturing in slow-mo some of the experience. All right, good stuff. It was fun. Glad to be back. So I was thinking to myself when I was away, I was like, you know what? I don't want y'all to miss me too much. So I did, as you know, a shortened show. So much be happening, child. It's like I want to be keeping up a little bit. So thank you. Miss Renita is like, nope, she looks like Marlon. Vernita says she's so cute. She does have a lot of hair. Takes up a lot of time. All of my kids had lots of hair, but it's a lot of work. Yeah, child, I see y'all be fighting with children with their hair and detangling and braiding. I'm like, oh, I just don't have the time for it or the patience. Miss Vernita says to me, she did look like her dad. However, she's looking a bit more like you now. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good 50-50 combination. That I'll have to ask Corinne. I can't remember. I was driving all over the place, child. We went to Black River. We got to see some turtles and crocodiles, I think is what they are. All sorts of stuff, child. We were all over the place. And you know what the highlight of my trip was? Guess what? I saw a man on the side of the street. And guess what he was selling? Honey chill. He was selling plums. I was like, I haven't seen any plums in Cayman for the season. I got like 5 bags of plums. And trust me, for the next couple of days, I was in plum heaven. Ooh, honey chill. Delicious. I let Gianna try one. She's like, I don't like this. I was like, you'll grow to love plums. Trust and believe me when I tell you, they are the best. Delicious. And then, you know, they have a lot of these fish places where you go and you pick out your fish and they'll fix it for you, whatever. So we did one of those. Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of places, child. I don't know where that was. Somewhere. I think that one was kind of close to Black River as well. Miss Barbara says, very happy to have you back. Thank you, Miss Barbara. So I didn't really skip a beat though. I was keeping up with everything that was going on in Cayman. And then some. You know, when you're in the business of news, all I can tell you is news is always happening. And so you always know what's going on and you always have to kind of stay in the know to remain relevant. That's just part of the job. And so, you know, I got my WhatsApp. Everything was coming in still. I was very much in the know in terms of what was going on. So you guys know last week we talked about a lot of topical things. If you missed any of those shows, go back and listen to them. The one with the police, I really hope that the police were listening. Because just yesterday, I think it was, or day before, someone who obviously hadn't heard the show was like, Sandy, what are the police doing? We need more of this. And I said, we were talking about this on, I think it was Monday show or Tuesday show. Now the guy in the BRAC, listen to this hot mess that they arrested for shooting into somebody's house. He was released like the next day back into the BRAC community. Now, this is concerning to me. Oh, good morning. Someone says, hey, Sandy, did you know that the hummingbird is the only bird that can fly backwards in midair? Oh, wow. I believe it because those wings, boy, they got some power. They're little birds, but those wings are flapping like a mile a minute. Oh, somebody else said the exact same thing. They says, nice picture of Minnie, you and Dad. Good morning and welcome back. The hummingbird is the only bird that can fly backwards. So somebody else knew that. I didn't actually know that. Sounds pretty cool. But yeah, they're amazing little birds. Um. So yes, people were kind of talking to me what's been happening, and I heard that this guy in the BRAC was out. I was like, what? Oh Lord, have mercy. I don't even know what to say. I mean, I understand the court process and I understand they can't just unlawfully detain people and everybody's innocent until proven otherwise in a court of law. I get all of that. But I can't imagine how that woman must be feeling to know this man allegedly shot inside her house. They arrest him in grand fanfare. And then the next day he's back out on the streets again. Wow. Mm-mm-mm. What a hot mess. I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll have to see where this goes and if they're able to charge him. I mean, sometimes I think the idea is, but you see, they can't keep him if they only arrested him, not charge him. They can't really keep him locked up until he's been charged. So, I guess their investigations continue. You gotta be careful though, because this is where good citizens are going to say the police are not effective, and we're going to take matters into our own hands. I'll keep you all updated, honey Jill. But all I can say is that's a hot mess of a situation. Good morning to Daisy. Cameron says Sandy can catch news faster than a barra in a school of sprats. Oh my gosh. So the guy was let back in the BRAC community why he shot into somebody's house. Well, the talk on the streets in the Cayman BRAC is that he was going around saying that this woman was informing on him. What a mess, honey chow. Lord Jesus, I don't know. But yep, he's back on the streets. Good morning to Johan. Yes, I'm back on the rock, live and direct. You ever come back home and you touch down and you just want to kiss the ground called the Cayman Islands? First of all, the band was there. When you walk in, the little band that plays music or whatever, they were there for a beautiful, warm welcome. And they saw me like, hey, Sandy. And I'm like, hey. I love to hear that music. I hope they're there all the time. I don't always see them, but I do see them sometimes. I love that they're there. I think it's so flavorful, playing Caribbean music, Caymanian music. And I just think it's beautiful. And, keep them there, tourism. Keep them there. I think that's a nice touch to coming back home. You just feel like you have touched down and landed in the most amazing place in the world. And we're trying to keep it that way. Now, we're going to talk today about some ways in which Cayman is not amazing. And I'm going to start to point some fingers and blame some of y'all, because one of the observations I always make when I travel is how clean a place is. The good book says cleanliness is next to godliness. I believe that's in the good book. And I believe that is cleanliness is really, really important. And I think that we are somehow dropping the ball in this country. We're just missing the mark completely. We've become some really nasty people. And I'm going to say we collectively, because even if this is not you individually, when we see something and we say nothing about it, we become part of the problem. So all weekend, I had people blowing up my phone about garbage. Let's see here. Garbage all over the place. I'm just looking for some additional messages that people sent me, honey chill. Up to last night. People are like, oh my gosh, Sandy, look at this house. Look at this one. Y'all, how did we become so incredibly nasty? No pride, right? So when I go to New York and I see the piles of garbage on the sidewalk, I'm like, ew, this place is nasty. It's like reminiscent of a third world country. Ugh. So I'm going to call out some situations here this morning. Some of them is people dumping in other people's land, which is ridiculous. And then some of it is you guys just really and truly don't care. And you're keeping your own properties in a hot mess of a situation. So from the week before, I'm going to show y'all some of these. People have been sending me pictures of where people are dumping down in Lookout Gardens. I mean, just all over the place. And it really is sad. And I think it speaks volumes to the kind of degradation of our society that we're having going on in more ways than one, to be quite frank. My goodness, you can't even take pride in your own environment. So, of course, there was also Carnival this weekend. And enough of y'all were cussing about Carnival. No, sir. Unfortunately, I don't know whose responsibility it is to clean up after Carnival, but I tell you what, y'all were not doing a very good job at it. The garbage everywhere, and I did not go West Bay Road. So this is other people who were contacting me saying, Sandy, what is going on with Carnival cleanup? You know, and I'm like, I don't even know whose responsibility that is. I can't imagine that it's the government's responsibility. Like it shouldn't be. People are like, well, is this Department of Tourism? Why is it their responsibility to clean up after a private event? I mean, yes, it's a carnival, but it's still a private event. So I think the people who put the event on are the ones who should really be responsible for cleanup. And what I'm really shocked and surprised about is why was there so much trash on the roads to begin with? You know what I'm saying? You guys going out there, what do you call it? Parlancing or parlaying or whatever the heck it is, dancing in the streets. Why are you throwing garbage everywhere? Take your recyclable water bottle with you. We know it ain't got water in it for most of you. Y'all drinking other beverages. Okay? You fill it up, refill it, whatever. But why on earth was there so much garbage just thrown all over the place to begin with? And then why did it have to stay there for so long and nobody seemed to know who was supposed to be cleaning it up? Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Good morning, Sandra.
Sound like you need your own show talking about good morning, caller.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't try that one.
You got the first part down. Good morning, caller.
Good. All right. I'm glad that you enjoyed your trip, and hopefully that one of these times soon you'll be able to take GT to parts of Europe, like gonna advertise
Absolutely.
a little bit, like Switzerland, Austria, and places like that. The mountains of Switzerland is all mountains and rivers and lakes.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, it is. And they do not tolerate garbage. They're not going to fine you and put you in court and then take you out and then recall again and recall again. You got it coming because they do not tolerate garbage. But
tell me what exactly they do. What do they do? Because we obviously need to adopt some of these things.
Okay. First of all, they separate their garbage by the different color garbage cans you must have. Orange, red, green.
So they recycle. That's the first part. They have a recycling program.
Yes,
okay.
They recycle.
Okay.
Then every day in places like all over Switzerland, but not as much as in the countryside, which is so clean, and the different fruits and whatnot. But they pressure wash the sidewalks, and pressure wash, because there's a lot of places that you can go in Switzerland that you want to drive a certain distance, and then there is round the clock buses to pick you up and carry you in the different places of the sightseeing that you would like to do. You know, you gotta have a good pair of walking shoes, if not two. And it is so cleanly. Another really clean place is Singapore. And I just admire the way that they, you know, it's breathtaking, because you have that fresh air, and it's like just breathtaking.
Well, I
Singapore
think
is
in
a little-
Singapore they might chop your hand off if they catch you littering.
Yeah,
but
yeah, you know,
they're a little bit tougher.
But anyway, you took the words out of my mouth when you said about the carnival. I haven't gone, but on Sunday morning we were going to the east of the island for a change, and from Mr. Dart's new hotel straight up to town, it's garbage everywhere. And I would say the people that get out there and jump up and down and in special costumes and whatnot, there's little children. Show them an example by getting out there the next day, and or could have been Monday, and cleaning up that garbage. It should not be,
I tell you
like
what,
said.
people, the concern that I heard is that people are like, why are we waiting for days? So nobody wanted people to wait till yesterday to clean it up. People are like, no, this should have been cleaned up. I mean, I guess they're still drunk Saturday night, but at least early Sunday morning, they should have had a cleanup crew. And hey, I'm not expecting the people who are participating in the carnival to have the energy, and they're probably not even sober come Sunday morning, to get up and do much of anything. But that's why you hire people for that. You know what I'm saying? They're not the same people participating in carnival necessarily.
Yes, but it would set an example that we don't go out there and mess up and garbage up our little island that is so small. And we've seen tourists walking along the road and looking, standing up and looking, and I can't imagine what they're saying. I mean, they've seen garbage before of all kinds that perhaps some of us didn't even see. But the thing is, why should they have to come here and look at garbage? And what does these carnivals bring in? Do they bring in more tourists? Do they bring in more money? And you know what else I seen along the road as well? Women underwear.
Oh, geez, I'm peace.
Now, after the Easter holidays, you can go on the beach and you see baby pampers hanging up in trees. Underwear all over the place, and we supposed to be a tourist destination. No, we have to do better than that. If these people plan a carnival, I don't care who it is, then they have to have a plan to clean up afterwards, not just show pictures of how decorated, which costumes I have, and me drinking water and saying, you know, got to drink a lot of water and all that kind of thing. Yes, because we that don't go out there enjoying this stupidness, as far as I'm concerned, because they know nothing about having a carnival, and they need to go someplace that they really have carnivals. And Jamaica is one of those places.
Well, they can go Trinidad. I think Trinidad and Brazil probably have some of the biggest carnivals in the world.
Yes, but
anyway, let's leave that part of it. I'm going to talk about some of the ridiculous outfits that I saw as well.
Yes, and I'm glad that you're back.
Thank you so
Even
much.
though your show was still good, but was not long.
Yes.
But anyway, you were on vacation, so that's an excuse for you. Glad that you're
Thank
back
you, my
and
dear.
glad that you enjoyed it.
All right. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. So here are some of the messages that I got. This one came in Sunday morning at 10:10. This person said, "Good morning, Sandy. It's just after 10 a.m. Sunday morning. I don't know if anyone has mentioned this to you as yet, but I have just driven down West Bay Road and it looks like a third world country with garbage strewn everywhere on the road and sidewalks. This is obviously from CayMas yesterday. While I enjoy watching the parade, I believe that the organizers should have a plan of action to clean up the streets after the parade goes through. It's absolutely disgusting, not only for us that live here, but for the many tourists that arrived yesterday for the July 4th holiday weekend. Just driving along, I see many of them stepping over bottles and other garbage, one even picking up her child on the sidewalk, probably because of broken glass. Any idea if it is the CayMas organizers or the government that should clean this up? It is an eyesore and not representative of Cayman. The Minister of Tourism should really get involved with this as well." And I said, "Oh my goodness." I said, "In fact, someone else did mention it, but it sounds really bad because I hadn't seen it myself." They said, "It's disgraceful." This person goes on. Ozzy mentioned it on his Facebook post as well, and Heather questioned whether it was done or not. According to the chairman's response to Ozzy, they are delayed in cleaning it up, including the public beach. I don't know why they'd be delayed, but okay. It's absolutely disgusting and disgraceful. And does it represent us as Caymanians? There's no reason that should not have been cleaned up from last night. The garbage is from Georgetown to Public Beach and slightly beyond. Even in the bypass in certain areas, imagine what the tourists, especially first-time ones, must think of us. On top of everything else, the stench from the dump is blowing right over 7 Mile Beach now too. Lord Jesus. And I said, "Thanks for highlighting. We'll discuss it this morning." They said, "Thanks so much. It should never happen again." And by the way, it's almost 1 p.m. now, and I just drove through again and still no cleanup. And they sent photos of all sorts of garbage strewn on the roadway still after 1 o'clock. We got to do better than this. I don't know who needs to get the memo this morning, but again, this is representative of us as a community, and this is not a good look. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy. Good to have you back.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, let me congratulate you. I know you do a lot of articles on CMR, but let me congratulate you specifically for the article that you did on the decision of the ombudsman. Now, and of course, well, I won't say of course, some people might not know that actually that was an appeal that I made to the ombudsman, but of course you couldn't quote my name because in the release they didn't have my name. But as the person who made the report, I am free, of course, to make myself public because I think that is important. Now, I should say that people in Cayman should rally around Sharon Ralston, the current ombudsman, because that decision was not easy to make. I have dealt with the judiciary. The judiciary basically believe they are above the law. And I can even give you an example. For example, there's a request I had made before. I won't go into the details, but it was similar to this under the previous ombudsman. The previous ombudsman made up her mind to say, yes, you are right, they should give you this information. It was a different case than this one. And you know what happened was, after she had said, well, look, you should give this person the information, as a compromise, they basically refused. The Chief Justice wrote a very disparaging letter to the ombudsman about me and said he's just a problem and so on. And you know what?
This was the former Chief Justice, not the current one.
No, yes. Thanks for that. Yeah, it was the former Chief Justice Anthony Snelly, and the ombudsman was a former ombudsman. I forget her name, Hermiston or some name like that. But you know what the ombudsman did when she got pushback from the Chief Justice? She said, well, I can't decide this issue now because the Chief Justice has written to say that he doesn't have to do it. So I wrote back to her, I said, well, but why? You have already made up your mind that they should give me this information. Why are you changing your mind because they are now pushing back? They don't want to do it. It means that you don't want to do your job. Basically, they told me, well, it's not practical anymore for us to get the information. It's not practical. So I just want to emphasize that it is very, very important that Sharon Rawson has done this. Now, I was a little bit disappointed with one or two aspects of the case, which was that she did not ask them for affidavits to actually say how the such information, which they admitted existed, was lost. Because if all that public authorities have to do is to say, well, look, we had it, but we deleted it, and she doesn't ask for proof or something which will show whether they are telling the truth, that could seriously undermine her authority. There was also some constitutional issue she didn't decide, but I won't go on that already. But let me close on this, Sandy. The judiciary is very hypocritical. Sections of the judiciary are very hypocritical in Cayman. You know very well that if a court orders you to produce a document and you are known to have that document, if you don't produce that document, that is contempt of court. And yet they themselves are doing exactly that. So what I have done now, I have actually written to the Commissioner of Police. I have told him that destroying I'm asking if the commissioner can assign a senior official who will talk to me so that I can file a formal complaint so that whoever destroyed that record can be
let me do this, caller, because I am very, very interested in this case, and I want some background details in terms of why the record was destroyed. But I'm going to say that probably right now, this moment in time in this conversation where we are, it probably isn't the time to do it. We're still thinking about garbage and trash in our roads. So I think what we need to do is set aside some time to focus specifically on that decision. And because I'm curious what else is going on here. So let's carve out some time to do that, I would say.
Okay, that's great. In fact, that was my last point, but I'm very grateful. But really, yes, I think it is very, very important. I will be happy to discuss it further. Thank you.
All right, my dear.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, good.
Bye-bye. Cheers.
All righty. So sometimes I'm trying to keep y'all focused on like one conversation. I know the show is very free flowing, so we might jump from like one thing to the next. But sometimes we like to kind of in class, you got science time, you got homeroom session, you say your prayer in the morning, then you get up and you do your morning devotion. And what's the other? You guys sing in Cayman schools. You say your you sing the national song. What do you say? And I have to say that I don't recall any of this from school here because really I went to school in the States, right? Because I left Cayman when I was so young. So I don't know what you do in the mornings, but I think you do morning devotion, and then would you sing the national song, or you'd say what's the other thing that you say? But in the United States of America, we got up and did the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the United States. How does it go in? I don't know. Pledge allegiance. So we did that in the morning. Y'all do that here? So we kind of want to keep it on, focus a little bit. So we're still talking about this garbage situation, derelict vehicles, garbage all over the place, garbage because of Carnival. Miss Sue is saying we shouldn't have to pay for it. I don't know who pays for it, but it was really an eyesore. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, Sandy.
Morning, love. How are you?
Morning, fine, thanks. And also good morning to all our listeners out there this morning. And oh my goodness, glad you're back and love the pictures and the videos, and absolutely do support you as a parent, and also advocating to say to parents when they go on vacation, there's nothing wrong with doing the little shopping, nothing wrong with, spending time and enjoying yourself. But yes, throw some educational things in there and some great memories for the kids. I think it's very important. So of course, I love that. And that was the first time I saw Hummingbird. Well, not live, but that's the livest I've seen it. And it looks very nice. So glad you guys had a great time.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. But this morning, not just getting back to the garbage, getting back to Carnival overall. Having served on Cayman Carnival's committee for many years, from way back when Reba was in charge of Cayman Carnival. And then, of course, I had the opportunity to also serve under Donna Myrie. And I was one of the founding members to take Carnival to Cayman Brac. Coming from Cayman Brac, I took it there with Reba and had one of the first groups and everything. I know that a lot has changed in regards to Carnival. And one of the main things that have actually changed is the fact that we've actually split Carnival, the adult carnivals, away from the children carnivals, and for many reasons, because of the drinking and the carousing and the having fun. And it's not just garbage, like I said. This was my first time that I attended CayMas in Cayman, and I was truly, truly disappointed in a lot of what I saw that took place on Saturday. And I did read a lot. I did read a lot of comments by persons in social media. And I just want to touch bases on them because having served in the committees, I know, a lot of the rules in Carnival. And I'm just going to mention some of them now. Number one, it's an 18-year and older.
Yes.
Event.
We're going to be getting to that, caller, because I was disappointed, and there were a few people that pointed out to me that in fact there were minors there. And someone even said to me, who's going to be responsible for monitoring whether or not these minors are drinking? Now, listen, this is a question I have. Where are the parents?
That's you're absolutely true.
You know what I'm
that.
saying? Like,
So,
I can't. I don't feel like I can hold the organizers responsible for carting, and then who jumps into parade halfway through. Parents need to take responsibility for this aspect of it, right? I went out on we were actually at Cayman Bay on Friday evening, so we saw some of the young ladies hanging around in running around these carnival outfits. And my daughter saw one or two of them and she said, "Oh, that's so pretty. Did they have like a parade or a party?" She doesn't know anything about carnival. And I said to her, "Yeah, there was an event. There was like a carnival event." And she said, "Oh, can we go?" And I said, "No, it's not appropriate for children."
Yes.
And parents need to let children know, and I'm including teenagers in this definition of children, that this is 18 plus.
Absolutely.
Right? People are out there drinking and the gyration and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying a 15-year-old might not have already seen all this twerking, because God knows they see a lot.
Absolutely.
But they should not be participating in it. And so I think that the parents should be held responsible for allowing teenagers to go out there and participate, knowing full well that the chances are they're going to be drinking. Because who's going to, you think the police have time to be stopping them, say, "Oh, let me see your ID. Are you 18 plus?" And in fact, afterwards, I had people messaging me about two young girls who were missing. One was a 17-year-old, and then her sister, which is like 12 years old, who was with her, apparently had gone out to the carnival. And by Sunday afternoon, they couldn't be found. Eventually, the police located them. But, to me, this is parental restraints, right?
There you go. And you know what, Sandra, you've taken all of the words out of my mouth, because as a parent this morning, I can tell you exactly what took place with my child, and I trust my child wholly. I have 4 children, and I trust them and I teach them well. And of course, when they're with company, they wonder. And I'm not going to say that they're led astray, because you, as an individual that is of sound mind, you know right from wrong, and you make those sound decisions. And my daughter, like I said, I have 4 children, 4 daughters, and they participate in carnivals. I've taken them out there. They've seen carnivals. And when I say participate, I'm talking about from primary school days. They participate in the children carnival, and of course, when they become adults, they participate also in the adults carnival, but they are of that age. So of course, my 14-year-old was out there with me, and she said, well, she wanted to walk around with some of her friends. And I said, of course, you're allowed to walk around with your friends, but you know your boundaries, you know your limitations, etc. Well, I moved from where I was, because I wasn't participating. I moved and drove when the carnival was moving, and my God, it was so slow. But anyway, and it started late. That's a whole different topic. But I moved. And when I moved to my second spot, I was shocked to see, and she knows you can walk, but you don't walk within the crowd. You're going to walk now on the outside, and you can walk and, but you stay from out of the crowd. So when I walked to my second location, when I drove to my second location, the very first truck that came was full. And absolutely, I say full, and I videoed it because I'm a part of the school. And until I start speaking out and making it known that it angers me and upsets me, then I'll be what they normally say, sweeping it under the rug. I stood there and I was shocked to see the first truck come in was full of John Gray High School students and other younger children walking with this truck with the music. Now, I'm going to say to you, I never saw anyone smoking. I never saw any kids drinking or anything like that. But the fact is, this is an adult parade, so it should only be adults in it. There were and I'm getting to other points, but there were the marshalers now that were marshaling this parade, and these children are there walking. So, of course, what did I do? I looked for my daughter, and unfortunately, she had not just at the moment, but unfortunately, from where she should have been walking, she had managed to slip into the crowd, whether she did that voluntarily or not. Well, I walked up behind her and tapped her on her shoulder and told her, get your butt out of the crowd and you walk on the outside. And of course, all of her friends then came out. Did I embarrass her? Hey, listen, you shouldn't have put yourself in that situation in the first place for me to have to come and take you out. So I took her out of the crowd. But that's where we start with. The fact that this is an adult parade, it's 18 years and over. That's number one. And number two, half of those floats, more than half of those floats, and I didn't count how many floats there were, but rule number two, each participating float is responsible. And let me tell you, we can ask them for their contracts, and I'm sure you'll see the rules inside there. Each participating float should have marshals that are easily identified. And normally, the floats normally have their marshals wear like bright shirts that normally say marshals on it. And it's these marshals now that are responsible to ensure that the rules are being followed with their group that's marching on the side, in the front, or the back of the truck. And this is how it has been in Cayman Carnival. So it should be across the board and Bracanal, and it should be across the board with CayMas. So half of them didn't even have marshals, or if they did, they were not being identified. You could not identify them. Number three, the rules is that those participants should have all been banded for easily identification reasons. When I say banded, meaning they should have been wearing wristbands. Even if they have to provide their own wristbands, reason being is because the wristbands then let the marshalers know this person is an adult, this person is legal to be in this parade. And also when that individual goes to the truck where the alcohol is being served for free, those persons serving can then look at that individual with a band on their hand to say, okay, this is a legal person with those bands. And the only how you get those bands is when you go to pick up your costume with your goodie bag. That's when your band is actually given to you. So it is, it's accountability along the way. Half of that was not in compliance. The whole entire event, or the majority of it, was out of compliance. Then, not even to mention the amount of adults that were walking in the parade with beer bottles and bottles of Hennessy, bottles of Appleton, bottles of everything you can name. Bottles are not allowed in the parades. Bottom line, glass bottles are not allowed. Glass bottles should not be served. That's why each group normally provides the individuals that are participating with plastic cups, because they're not even supposed to be serving cups. In order to avoid all of this trash on the road, they're not supposed to even be serving cups from the actual truck that has the drinks. The only thing that they should be serving is bottled water. So as a person participating in the event, when you purchase your package, you normally get a cup that comes along. So when you're ready to get a drink, you walk up to the truck, they pour it in your cup, then that it holds everybody responsible, and it keeps down the trash. All of this was non-compliance, I can tell you that. So much to the point that when I moved to my second location up by Mykonos, that's where I drove down to and pulled into the back, and I went out front and stand up. There was a bar truck that pulled up, and I'm there, and waving at people and having fun and looking at people. All of a sudden, a red plastic Solo cup comes flying in the air from off of the truck and hits me. No, it didn't have anything. It didn't have anything in it. But I saw the person when the person threw it off of the truck.
Oh my God.
And I picked up the cup and I walked right up to the cup, right up to the truck where they were serving, and I threw it back onto the truck. And then someone looks at me and says to me, why are you doing that? And I'm like, why are you throwing garbage onto the street? If you're not supposed to be serving out of it, I don't know the reason why you threw it on, but I told the person you should have garbage cans on your truck to throw the garbage in. And furthermore, don't be throwing it off and hitting somebody with it.
Exactly.
It was disgraceful.
Wow.
And then, of course, on Sunday, okay, so the parade started about 2 hours late. Let's get that right. Nearly 2 hours late. And they didn't reach Public Beach until all 7:30 in the night. Thank God that the sun is still up that time of night. If not, it would have been a mess. But okay, even if they didn't have people going out there in the night to clean, which they should have, because guess what? Their cleanup crew should have been going behind the end of the parade. They should have had a cleanup crew in place that once the parade passed, the cleanup crew is following and picking up the garbage along the way. And even if they didn't have that in place, my God, the sun rises here in Cayman now 5 o'clock in the morning. Have your crew out there first thing in the morning to pick up the garbage. At 1 o'clock, 1:30, I took my daughters to lunch at Simboco. When I drove out of Simboco and I looked in front of Local, all I could do was hold my head. I couldn't believe it at 2:30 minutes to 3 in the afternoon. The amount of trash in from Local all the way down to Eastern Avenue Junction by the red light, and that's when I turned. Trash along the way. The only place that I saw that trash was picked up, and I don't know if the property owners or whoever it is that did that, but by Treasure Island, they had a bunch of garbage bags where they had looked like they picked up the garbage and had put it in the garbage containers. But otherwise than that, there was trash along the way. And I, of course, was very vocal, and I was so angry. And then, my 14-year-old daughter said something to me. She said, Mom, she said, I understand that you're angry and everything, but she said, you ever thought that maybe the bystanders could have caused some of this trash as well? And I said, you're absolutely right, love. I said, it could have been the simple bystanders, that threw the trash there. But I said, think about it. I said, had the parade not happened, the bystanders would not have come out and caused the trash. So at the end of the day, the organizers of CayMas
have to take responsibility.
We must hold responsible for this, because I can tell you they made hundreds of thousands of dollars from all of those participants out there. So even if you paid a group of people a little bit of stipend, or you paid a company to walk behind your parade and clean up afterwards, that is what should have happened. Because when you have our country trying to rebuild back on tourism, and you have the streets as filthy as it was Saturday night and even up until Sunday evening, shame on them. So shame on CayMas this morning. And that's all I have to say right now.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you.
936-2626 is the telephone number. That caller made a lot of very, very salient points. Magdalene says, preach, Marva, all truth. Bad Banu, when it was Flow sponsored back in the early days, used to be much better organized. In my view, it's just a bunch of persons walking in costumes. It's now a money making, I think is what that's supposed to say, venture. This is not good. Is that what you meant to say, Magdalene? I think some words got a little bit mixed up. This is a good community opportunity for the ministry to look at this. Does not make sense. So listen, I'm not, let me say this. I'm not really a carnival person. I didn't really grow up being raised, dancing in the streets and whatever. I get it, I guess, at some level why people enjoy it. It's a thing, whatever. I mean, I honestly just am not much of a carnival person. And I know there's some beef between CayMas and Bada Banu, so I don't really want to go too deep into the back and forth. I think if adults want to participate in the carnival, the organizers are here. You know, Festa. We've got McLean. Oh Lord, Brent McLean, and whoever else is part of CayMas. There's Renegade, Mass, and whatever. You know, knock yourselves out, but you have to do it in a way where it's being done safely and it's not adding an additional layer of being a nuisance to the community. So in the comment section, you know, I see, for example, John LaRue saying down his street, all these wristbands are just thrown all over the place. Now, I get it. When people are drunk, they don't tend to be very responsible. That's why the organizers, see, John says at the end of our road on Saturday night, was strewn with green wristbands. Pathetic, right? He decided to go up to North Side to get away from all the garbage and stuff strewn all over the place. The organizers have to make sure that they're equally paying attention to all of this as they are to the handing out of costumes. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Sandra.
Morning, dear.
This is Miss Reba.
Hi, Miss Reba. How are you?
Why did you guys wake me up out of my bed? Do you guys know that I am so tired? I went to Bada Banu, I went to Honduras,
you were out
I went
there
to
too?
Panama, and now I'm going back to Honduras. Now, let me all tell you something now.
Yes, ma'am.
You see this big, since Donna Myra can't talk about it, let me talk and tell her the truth. Listen, you see this big split? I'm not going to tell her what happened.
Yeah, and
but
listen,
the truth is,
you know, Miss Reba, to be honest, we don't even care about that. I mean, the split has happened, and I guess people who are into carnival is like, oh, can't we come back together? That's not even what we care about anymore. I don't even care about the split.
But let me give you the big story about it.
Yeah.
It is not Donna Myra's fault, but it will soon come out. Okay? Leave that there, because I know the truth.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm already past that stage.
Now,
the split has happened. I'm like,
leave that there. Well, I don't think I really knew what happened.
Yeah, I don't even know if we care. Because I mean, it's like everything else in Cayman, right?
I say a lot of people ask me why I stick to Bada Banu. I'm going to say this: Donna has it out, but I must say this about her: she carries Bada Banu with a little bit of grace and quality, because she'll tell you, "I want all of you to have your banners. I want all of you to be in place." We've taken Donna and both Melinda to Honduras to see how theirs are set up. And I think Donna has been catching the message, and so is Melinda. McKeeva. Well, let me tell you all something now. Brazil is one of the biggest carnival. The next biggest carnival to that, it is Honduras. And then the next one is Trinidad. Now, I goes to one of the biggest one, and I just coming back from Honduras, which that was La Ceiba Carnival, which is the biggest carnival in Central America, and it carries 500,000 people travel there every year, plus the people that is there. But one thing in Honduras, I must tell you guys, you cannot put a young girl in the parade because you will be charged for it. And the girl that is not you have to have your ID going to the parade in those costumes. It's on there. We know it's going on, and that's one thing I can say about Donna Myra. Do not put nobody on the age. These people do it. They sell the costume to these young girls. I know it has been going on, and Donna Myra will tell you, don't do it. She tells her crew not to do it. Now, I saw a lot of young girls. This thing been going on since this CayMas thing come out. A lot of young people, I saw it. And in Guyana, they only can wear certain clothes now. They can't wear the naked bottoms. And everybody blames Donna Myra. You cannot blame Donna Myra. Donna Myra is not the law. It's Franz Manderson who makes the law.
Which law? Which law is that?
The woman that was modesting. That law that
that don't have nothing to do with Franz Manderson. That's the police.
Oh yes, that's coming from the law.
Well, I mean, the law isn't Franz Manderson. I mean, he's head of the civil service.
But he can put the law down. He can put it down. Donna Myra cannot do it.
Well, that's a matter for the police. But I want to be
for the law to come in place.
Yeah, I want to be
because Guyana did it. It has to come from the top. Donna can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah,
because they can wear what they want. We cannot do that. That's another thing I'm trying to clear it up. The coordinators of that cannot do it. It has to be the law 7 place. She called in, giving a letter and saying, well, this is what we allow you all to wear. Okay, the nakedness, Donna Myra has nothing. we cannot control that. That is the
No,
law.
I mean,
It has
listen,
to go.
it seems like these people love costumes. The skimpier, the better.
I know that.
I
I know that.
understand that that's part of carnival, I guess. I mean, whatever. I'm not here to
yes,
be
I
no
understand
morality
that, but
police.
Sandra, they're over naked now.
Well,
I mean,
from a personal perspective, I'm going to completely agree with you there. But what I want to say is
that
this:
what
some
I'm
of them,
coming
I
into.
don't even think have honest friends. Because if you were to look in the mirror and you saw what some of them were wearing and they thought it was okay to go out in the streets like that, your friend should be telling you, honey, child, you got too many bulges. Do not put on that outfit. Put on a t-shirt. Like, you can still put on shorts and a t-shirt and go out there and have a good time. You don't have to have your vajayjay hanging out.
Well, listen to me. I had to tell you
No,
what
sir.
my mother had said. You need to cover up your hip line, your waistline, your bubble line, and the extra piece of waistline that you're gonna hang it. I mean, I agree with you that some of these girls do not look in the mirror unless they can look in the one that Snow White had. Maybe tells them, mirror, mirror on the wall, you are the prettiest in the parade of them all. Maybe that's how they're taking it. I mean, I don't agree with it, but I have to do it too to make money. But we cannot stop them, because if you want to wear this, they're going to wear it. We can't stop it.
Yeah,
They will go
listen,
and buy
like I
their own
said,
underwear.
I'm not here to tell anybody how to be modest in the streets.
Yeah, I
Although, you know,
understand
from a
that.
personal
Neither do I.
perspective, I would recommend it, especially what some of them working with. But you know, that's that's their decision. Once they're an adult, if you want to walk around like that and the law permits it, although the law doesn't permit the wearing of G-strings and stuff like that, I think the law turns a blind eye to a lot of these costumes because people are sending me like literally women's private parts were practically exposed. And I think that has crossed the line with you know, human decency, and that even crosses the line legally. But of course, nobody was enforcing it because the police officers are probably enjoying the free peep show too.
Well, you see, this is what I'm trying to say. It is who makes the law. We cannot enforce it. The law has to come to us and say, look.
Well, the law is there. It just needs to be enforced. But I guess nobody cares to enforce it.
Yeah, but you see, the law needs to write the chairmans of these committees and say, look, you all need to be closed a little better. The chairmans of the committees can't do it. It's got to come from the law itself.
You want to hear what somebody just said, which is so incredibly interesting, but is probably very, very true. This is what hold on, let me pull up the comment now. This is what this person just said. Hold on one second here. This person said that the only parade I've ever seen in Cayman that respected all rules was the Pride Parade.
Well, maybe that is true.
I think it is true because, you know, they didn't want the extra scrutiny, so they were very, very strict. And they wasn't doing all this nastiness in the streets and gyration and all that kind of foolishness.
Well, Sandra, let's put it this way. I play my mass in Honduras. I don't play mass in Cayman. And even there, you have to be, they like a little closure to you. They don't like a pile of nakedness. I mean, Brazil is different. But let me tell you something. The difference between the Spanish thing in Trinidad and those, these young ladies go out and they work their body up and they, you know, pump their legs and everything. And when you see them, you can see, you know. But some of these young ladies that we have here, they put on a costume. I don't know. They say they bought a costume that cost them so much money. And then
well, I know one thing. They certainly not charging them for the material because there's barely any ad on it. So
I know. And then somebody asked me about the feathers, if they were getting more expensive. Feathers is the most expensive thing in the world. You got one color pleasant feather. One pleasant feather is like $10. And I can see, but I think they're overcharging them. That's one thing I know that they're overcharging them.
Yeah.
Because all of these costumes now, let me tell you something, there's a place in China makes the very swimsuits and stuff. But what I am saying, I mean, I know they got to be a little skimper too, but what I'm saying, some of them is over skimping. But the law needs to come in and say, look, this is the type of underwear I want you all now to have in on the parade. And you all are found, if you're banned, are found wearing these skimper things that is showing, you know, your waistline and everything else and your private, then this man has to be charged. The law that the police come in and charge them during the time of Carnival. Reba Band was there and they had on this and she needed to be charged one of her contestants had on this man, and she has to be charged for modesty of a woman.
Mm-hmm.
That's simple that. But they're not doing it. We can't do it, and we cannot tell them that they got to wear it. Because if you go and tell them that, they can be, since they're on your show, it would be Bobby Bunky, Ass, and Bad and Carnival. That's why that show will be named after that, because some of them might well had gone naked.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
They might well, and then the blackness that they had, the sores, some of them had looked like Lazarus' sister, the blackness between their legs. That's not looking good for a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, the Bible even tells you that your body is as modest,
Mm-hmm.
that's your temple. I mean, like I say, when they wear them, I can't do anything either. I just got to go with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
But to being honest with you, Sandra, it doesn't look good. I can't stop it until the law is enforced. Look, if this is the type of underpants you got to wear, you need to cover more. We can't do it as coordinators and as people. They got to be the government put, like what Guyana did. Research Guyana. They did it.
Thank you, my dear. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'll see you soon, Sandra. Coming back. I'm going to come back in August now. I'm going to deal with you. Okay?
All right. Sounds good.
Okay, then.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it. Garrett says sex toys are illegal, but naked people on the streets or carnival is totally fine. The double standards are blatantly obvious. Oh my gosh. So listen, like I said, if you're a modest person, some of the outfits were definitely over the top. They didn't look good on certain people. It's just, I think that you can have beautiful costumes. You can wear things that are body appropriate and still have a good time. Some people just, they were squeezing into things that, like I said, the poor vajayjay was popping out and it was like, free me, but you're not supposed to be freeing that in public. You're supposed to cover that up in public, y'all. That's the law. So all I can say is I think that's more of an individual thing. I don't think CayMas can police what people are wearing. Decency is decency. And if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. So couple observations. My main concern is the cleanup. I reached out to the Department of Environment because I saw El Rey's comment that they would have been responsible for the cleanup. And, the organizers would have paid. I can confirm that actually is not correct. This person said it is their responsibility, being the organizers, to arrange the cleanup after their event. We do not clean up and they pay for it. However, if they want such an arrangement, they have to make arrangement with us in advance, and that was not done. So DEH was not responsible for this hot mess. The government was not responsible for this hot mess. This was entirely on the shoulders of the organizers. Now, I understand that they're going to be issuing a press release this morning. We're waiting for it. They said apparently they hired a private company. They need to fire that private company because the private company did a horrible job. If yesterday, morning and late Sunday afternoon, people are still saying that garbage was all over the place. Here's the thing with garbage too. Not only is it a complete eyesore and looks horrible, but it also travels. Right? So the parade path, if you don't clean it up immediately, that garbage is going to be blowing here, there, and polluting our entire island. That's my greatest concern about this event this year. The underage thing, parents, get your ish together, deal with your children. Now, I saw a comment here from, I think it was Michelle, saying, but, the kids, she said, well, Cayman Bay has kicked teenagers out. When they don't have anywhere else to go, that's where they will end up. This is the same thing for Badabanu. Well, I don't agree with you, Michelle, because these kids were in these parades before Cayman Bay started to enforce an already existing policy, by the way, of having children attend with an adult. They haven't kicked children out. They said, if you want to come, you must come with an adult. That is a very different situation. Alejandro says the Cayman Bay is a daycare center and parades are left as an alternative, you say. I'm going to go with Alejandro on this one. Parents, if you want to have children, you must find ways in which to entertain your children. All right? You don't have children that then you can't do anything with or know where you're going to put them or where you're going to entertain them. You don't leave it up to children to find their own entertainment. And certainly no sensible adult should be saying to a child, oh, yes, you have my permission to go participate in Badabanu or CayMas or whatever. Now, some of y'all, take the kids to watch it. on the sidelines. I think depending on the age of the children, even that can be a little bit problematic because, again, some of what I'm seeing in these streets, the gyration and so on, is simply not appropriate for children. It is an adult themed event. And although it's on a public street, I dare say that some of what's going on is also adult themed as well. I saw some of the videos, honey child, and all I could do was shake my head. But, we live in a day and age where children are being exposed to so much. And then we wonder, why are we force raping them? If you want to have children, know how to parent your children, find activities for children to do that is age appropriate. Morning, caller.
Yeah, morning, Sandra. Just a comment on Michelle in person, right? Because the thing is that she don't understand. She thinks it because I'm young. I don't know nothing about teenagers. I had teenage sisters as well, so I know how they carry on. We once were teenagers as well, if you can remember how that goes. That's not really the best time of our years neither. We had a lot of people that don't understand us. So in order to reflect that, you got to kind of remember these things. You understand? So yeah, that's just a comment back on her because she think that it's a daycare thing when you have to just drop your children where you feel like they're safe. That's not the right thing.
Well, they're not safe there. I mean, I don't know why anybody would think that a carnival is the safest place for children.
But this is the thing. They feel like because it's an open public thing and it's all celebrated by the public widely. I mean, they don't realize that this is a real more of a celebration of freedom, like alcohol, expression, and you see a lot of things that are not appropriate for children should be something that is rated R. Let's just say, because I'm not saying this is something that rated PG-16, no PG-13, nothing like this. This is something that it should not even participate. Schools indoctrinating children and all these type of things. No, none of this is normal. This is the attitude you choose to express. This is an expressive thing. This is freedom. But guess what? If I was to go and smoke ganja in public, I'm not introducing no children around me. That's a bad thing, though. That's a bad thing. Oh, yeah.
Don't forget our rule, Alejandro. We're not talking about it.
I understand. We're not talking about that. But
well, I'm just reminding you because you still mentioned it. We've been having such a nice time not talking about that M word.
I know, Miss Sonia. I'm sorry for breaking the rule, but it had to be included because also it includes with that because nobody likes it. Nobody likes alcohol either, but people love it.
All right, my dear. So, leave me there. I appreciate it. An event full of alcohol, half naked, some naked, gyrating, sexually driven adults is no place for children and no place for your teenagers. It's as simple as that. If you need a babysitting service for teenagers, find an elderly aunt that you can trust and ask her if she's available to watch your teenager. If you need events for kids, explore camps, take them out to a park, take them bird watching. There's so many things that you can do with your children, but what it does require, it requires parents who are going to be more involved in the lives of their children, not just dropping them off at Cayman Bay. I agree with Alejandro. Cayman Bay is not a babysitting service. And if you guys will remember, Cayman Bay was very, very hesitant to enforce this. Like I said, it's always actually been there, but they just were simply not enforcing it. And one day we had a show and we asked people in this program, is it time for Cayman Bay to lock down the place with no more unsupervised teens? And every single person, there was not a single person that said, no, let them keep wreaking havoc on everybody and everything at Cayman Bay. Everyone in this program said, yes, please, Cayman Bay, fix this problem. So I don't feel sorry for y'all. Y'all the one who forced their hand. Cayman Bay was more than happy to let the kids enjoy the facility, but they were not able to do so responsibly because once again, you cannot be a parent and just drop your child off at a public place and be like, oh yeah, I'll be back in 2-3 hours to collect you. No supervision, no adult supervision, nothing. And your children out there fighting each other like hoodlums in the streets, worse than cats and dogs, right? causing injury to people's children, causing property damage, having sex in the corners at Cayman Bay. Next thing you know, a child gets raped there or whatever. Then y'all want to try and sue Cayman Bay. I'm glad that they locked it down. And I must say that the few times that I've been since then, it's such a nicer experience. So good for them. And that's not an excuse for your kids to be going out to Carnival talking about they not got nothing to do. Y'all better find something healthy for your children to do. What a hot mess. So somebody said on Instagram that some of these designers need to design plus size costumes. Well, I think plus size people need to know what's appropriate to wear as well. Come on now. You all know you can't be trying. You wear a size 16 and you're trying to squeeze into a size 6? That's a couple sizes too small. Okay? Nobody wants to be seeing all that. I don't know who told you even look good. The other complaint I heard, and this is for the organizers, this is a matter for them. It really ain't my business. But everybody was complaining about the heat. Now we are into June, almost July, when this carnival took place a couple days ago. Or no, that was already July. That was July 1st. All I can say, folks, is it's hot out there no matter when you do a carnival, but definitely the summer months. Some of y'all need to stay particularly hydrated because I could see that y'all want to pass out. And you lose your energy. It started late. Like maybe you adjust the time where it starts earlier in the morning where it's not quite as hot, but it's always going to overflow because, you know, carnivals are going to move slower depending how many bands you have in it, whatever. It's always going to move slower than anticipated. So, you know, be prepared to they should have rest stops along the way. I mean, I don't know how far it went. But anyway, that's a matter for the organizers. I don't really care about any of that, to be honest. I think it can be a good event if people are interested in it. Obviously, it's a business venture, and those individuals should make sure that they organize it for the safety and benefit of all. So Ozzy weighed in on this on his social media a couple of days ago. So he said some tips to CayMas Carnival organizers. It was a good turnout, good music, and the sound, and has some great potential. He says he lists 6 things now. Time of day must change, or time of year must change. Bands cannot dance and perform as struggling with serious heat. Please reconsider this. Yesterday should have started at 4 p.m. the earliest. Even spectators suffered severe heat exhaustion. I trust no one got seriously ill. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Sandy, and welcome back.
Thank you, honey. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Yeah, about this CayMas and starting it at the time that they did and blocking off the road and traffic for businesses along Georgetown when we're already hurting. Business is already hurting. There's no way for people to get to the stores if they wanted to. Tourists that or overnight guests don't know how to get around the back roads to, let's say, park at Bayshore Mall. You know, it's summertime. It's less tourism. The cruise ships that we have coming in right now are absolutely useless. These people are not spending the dollars they once did before COVID. And you know, some businesses stay closed because it wasn't worth them being open to do payroll, overhead, so on and so forth. So they really need to have a game changer and either start it later so these businesses can make the dollar that they need to make to survive, or take the direction someplace else and let it go down another street somewhere else. That's pretty much what I have to say because you know, Cayman's suffering, businesses are suffering, and we don't need this to just cause more problems for the business owners.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, love. Thank you. So, I mean, you know, I feel like you're always going to have a little bit of that. Not everybody's going to be happy with Carnival in general. I take his point, you know, maybe the time needs to be tweaked and adjusted. Let me see. Oh, somebody's calling me from another number. Oh, hold on now. I'm pretty sure you're not calling to be on air, so let me call you after the show. Okay, all right. That was a business client, so I knew he wasn't calling to be on air, honey. Chill. All right, so listen, let me continue reading what Ozzy has here. I thought this was interesting. So you talked about the heat exhaustion. I think it's a fair point. Again, you know, it's hot out there. June, July, August are the hottest months of the year. He says costumes are important and there should be less mingling of t-shirts or others within the pretty mass, and allow spectators to enjoy the spectacle as it's meant to be. So I'm not quite sure I understand that point. He says costumes are important. There should be less mingling of t-shirts. So he thinks that people shouldn't be wearing t-shirts. Is that what he's saying? Within the pretty mass and allow spectators to enjoy this. So he wants to see the outfits. I don't know. I think some of them they needed to wear t-shirts, but okay. Separate the revelers into their own group who just want to be in the parade without major costumes. Okay. So can you have you're saying like make all the t-shirt people be together? I'm not really sure. Okay. Well, I guess I kind of understand what he's saying, that it's all about the costumes, but not everybody's comfortable, Ozzy. Like I said, some of them shouldn't be comfortable wearing those outfits. So yeah, they need to cover up a little bit. Too much bonky, too much front, too much back fat, side fat, booby fat, all this stuff hanging out. So I don't know. He says, keep the trucks and bands closer together. Okay. And more marshaling. Number 4, I skipped this one. More marshaling to keep groups behind their trucks or sides, but not in front of them. Dangerous. And again, takes away from the spectacle. Number 6, minimum age of 18, age at which alcohol is legal. We should not have our juniors mixing into an adult festival loaded with alcohol beverages. If not, if need be, create a junior CayMas. Hope this is helpful and will help us going forward to have an even better CayMas and a national festival that we can be proud of. Best wishes for next year. Again, some of the same points really that we've been covering this morning is ensuring that children are not participating. So somebody says the t-shirt section should be separated from the costume and pretty section. Okay, so that's what he's saying. They say Bada Banu has a kid portion. There's another reason why the two events, this is another reason why the two events should join. One carnival makes no sense to shut down the country for two similar events. Put egos aside and have one big event. All right, so I think we have a statement here from CayMas. It's very, very long, but let me see if I can summarize it. So they say that CayMas has been in existence since 2017, and every year since inception, we've had a cleanup crew follow the parade to clean up as we make our way to Georgetown, from Georgetown to Public Beach. At the end, that mission, the cleanup crew then spins to head back down 7 Mile Beach to ensure even the smallest amount of debris is cleaned up. Unfortunately, this year, our cleaning orders were caught in our inbox. Okay, so somebody didn't press the send button. Or... All right, then. Once we became aware of the issue, we took immediate action, both to ensure the problem could be corrected as soon as possible and to avoid any disruption to our beautiful island's image. Having discovered this issue on Saturday evening, and with the next day being Sunday, we were then stuck and unable to connect with our usual cleanup team. This left us in a precarious position and unfortunately unable to get a company until the holiday Monday to get the cleanup completed. The road cleanup team mobilized at 7 a.m. on Monday morning and quickly worked their way from start point to Georgetown. We'd like to note that all of our CayMas Carnival bands manage their respective trash through bins on each vehicle, in addition to reusable cups which were used by the revelers. We adopted this model from commencement to minimize our waste and consumption, allowing a minimum impact on our environment, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so they said somebody basically forgot to send the email to arrange for that to happen. I mean, yeah, okay. I'm not quite sure how that ball got dropped. This person says, thank you for talking on this topic. It's serious concern. This is the minister of tourism. From a tourism perspective, it really hurts our brand. Carnival is good for tourism, but the cleanup must be done in a timely manner right after the parade. And more importantly, this should not be who we are. So good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Morning, Sandra.
Mm-hmm. Good morning, dear.
Marv again. I, you know what? And I swear I wasn't even going to call back in, but I have just listened to what CayMas, the statement they made to say that they have been in existence since 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So I took that note, very important note there.
Mm-hmm.
Then they went on to say that they have always had a cleanup crew to walk behind the parade. And then the third note that I took note of, which is a big pile of BS of an excuse. A message get lost inside the emails and wasn't sent. Are you kidding me? So 6 years later, let me tell CayMas, they need to come down, no offer their excuses this morning and take responsibility. 6 years later, so every year, obviously, this is what I'm assuming. I hate to assume because assume means making an ass of you and me. 6 years later, you must have a brand new cleanup crew that they never had any meetings with along the way, and that's normally what Carnival committees have with all of their different crews that they have in place. You mean you haven't had a meeting all of these months, the whole year you've been planning it, you haven't had a meeting with your cleanup crew for them to know that 6 years later, this is what the procedure is?
I mean, listen to me. To me, this is so ridiculous, right?
You need to stop it this morning.
Well, they should have a checklist, right? And one of the checklists is not only to send the email, but to make sure you've gotten confirmation from somebody.
Hello, Sandra.
Like that doesn't make, if you didn't get confirmation, listen, we've all made mistakes with emails, right? So if you never got confirmation from anyone, like you don't recall anyone saying, yes, we're coming out, this is what it's going to cost this year, like I'm sure the price has gone up and all this kind of stuff. How do you not go, well, why haven't we heard from the cleanup crew? Let's check and make sure that they received an email. Pick up the phone, WhatsApp somebody, call somebody. I agree with you that this excuse is very flimsy.
Sandra, kind of write them back and tell them to come up with a better excuse, and we will take that into consideration this morning. And I hope they're listening. Stop lying and stop finding excuses, CayMas. Tell the truth. You never had nothing in place. And you messed up, and now you're getting name and shame. And I'm sorry to say, we're sick and tired of this foolishness because let me tell you again, and I'll say it, Sandra, what angers me even more, it's because these are the same group of people that went and attacked Cayman Carnival, Badabadoo, and went and also attacked Tim and Bracanal because they wanted to take over Carnival in the Cayman Islands. They wanted to take away Badabadoo from who it is. They wanted to take the weekend of Bracanal and have that for themselves when they couldn't get Badabadoo weekend. But yet now they're acting like a little bunch of children. I really don't want to say the word. I really want to call them this morning. And I challenge any one of them to come to my face because I'll tell them this face to face. It's you guys that went and attacked two different other separate carnivals to take it over all for yourself, only for greedy purposes. Then now you're going to come and act like a bunch of children and coming up with all of these excuses. Please don't let me start this morning with them. Tell them to find another excuse. In fact, tell them to come off the air and stop writing stupidness to us, the Caymanian people, because they think that we're stupid. Let me come off the air, Sandra. Thank you.
All right, my dear. What a hot mess. Alejandro says, poor excuse who their lawyer is, so he's not buying it either. He said he got lazy and worried about participating. We pick it up later. Natasha says in carnivals overseas, the costume should be marching with their fellow costumes. So if you're in the t-shirt crew, you stay with them. It looks more uniformed. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, Sunday, that boy there, Joel, that talking about Cayman people, lazy. I got to comment on that too because
I just blocked him.
People that went to that parade were expert. They were expert mingling around with Caymanians. So
let me say this, right, Alejandro? Alejandro, just a second. Just a second. I think that sometimes people are just trying to get a rise out of you, and you just have to ignore. You just have to ignore them.
And these people should not be acknowledged in this island, to be honest. Yeah, that's all I got to say. I got to deal with my baby at the same time while I'm listening to you.
We're on air right now. 936-2626 is the talk show number. Okay. All right. Every Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 10:30, we're live. 936-2626. 2626. Both. Okay. All right, there. No problem. Bye-bye. All right, folks. So don't forget we're live, honey child. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Hey. Good morning. I just wanted to comment that I was following some of the tractor trailers late, long after the parade, as they were coming back from the end point, passing Cayman Bay, heading towards the A.L. Thompson's roundabout. And off the back of these trailers were falling cups and bottles and breaking in the road. There was garbage stacked up that was not cleaned up before they hit the road, and it was just bouncing off the road. My vehicle almost got hit, so they just need to be a little more conscientious.
Wow. Was that during the parade or after?
No, it was after the parade, as they were heading back to wherever those trailers park or live.
Yeah.
So no, they were just one after another heading back away from the final destination of the trailer. It was late in the afternoon, early evening.
Okay. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. Sorry. So yes, while we're having this conversation, somebody named Joel, I don't even know who the heck he is, jumps in the comment section talking about Caymanians are lazy, this and that. Listen, certain people I'm not going to entertain today. I'm looking at his profile pictures. He looks like he could be from India. And you know, Joel, I don't know who you are, but I'm not gonna make you get a rise out of me today, because the Cuban who's at the government building right now protesting is doing that. We're gonna talk about him in a second. So I've just blocked Joel. I saw his comment. I wasn't even going to address it, Alejandro, because some people are not even worth my breath. And that's what I feel with an idiotic comment like that. But just for the record, I've gone ahead and just blocked him. So end of story. Let's keep it moving. So hopefully Carnival has learned some important lessons. CayMas folks, organizers, get it together is all I can tell you. You know, the caller said about closing or impacting his business. Michelle responds to that. She says, caller, close your business for the day. It's one day. This is why people travel for Carnival. I don't know. I mean, it's ridiculous. So it looks like he was this guy making more than one comment? I only saw the one comment, but I see Charlene responding to him earlier. Saying that I invite you to personally confront me face to face with this attitude. Listen, let's not address stupidity. I don't know who Joel is, but he's now blocked from CMR. And you know, yeah, let's just talk about Cayman people lazy. Let me just, it's a beautiful Tuesday morning, Sandy. Let's just take a deep breath. Breathe in and breathe out. And just ignore the stupidity. We have some of the hardest working people in the world. So we are not going to pay him any mind. He's just trying to get a rise out of us. Let's not give him the pleasure of doing so. All right. Blair says, even when I jumped in Badabanu last year, the teenagers hopped in and took over. It was really annoying. They all walked in groups and didn't pay and should not be there. They were with us the whole time. Is there no, like, I think somebody, was it Miss Marva that was saying there should be marshals controlling who comes in and out of a parade? Are they not there? I mean, one of the really, really strict things with the LGBTQ the Pride Parade is people couldn't be joining in, also because they were COVID restrictions. But I know for a fact they were so strict with that, because even me as media, Noelle was like, you can't jump in, you can't jump in. I'm like, I'm just covering it from a media perspective. And I had to be very, very careful to not appear that I was part of the parade because I was kind of covering it from the sidelines. And he was very, very adamant about maintaining that because of the restrictions that were actually in place. Carol, good morning, Miss Carol Bragg. She says, every year we complain about the same things, and every year it gets even more vulgar than the year before. Either they stop it altogether or lay down the rules according to the law. Neither will happen because the powers that be have no guts or backbone to take a stand, so basically nothing will change. Mr. PJ, I'm live on the radio right now. Can I call you back later?
Okay, all right.
All right, dear. Everybody blowing up my phone today. I got so many things I'm catching up with on my to-do list. And I know exactly why he's calling. He's got a project for me. All right. So, yes, Miss Carol, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. So apparently there's still abandoned vehicles all over the place from people who were attending CayMas. They parked their vehicles different places. Here's one apparently that is still parked. I'm trying to identify where this is. Oh, I think this is down Boilers Road. So whoever owns this, it looks like, is that a BMW? Please go move your car. Did you forget where you parked it? So people were parked on the side of the roads for Carnival, walked away, left their vehicles. They probably were too drunk to drive, which thank you for at least not doing that. But now they still apparently have forgotten where to find said vehicles. So, Lord, there was one down by, oh my gosh, Eats, whatever that plaza is called. They were a rental parked practically in the street and just left the vehicle and joined the parade. I was like, y'all lost your common sense as well as your human decency for covering up your bonke. Clearly. Lord Jesus. Anyway, go pick up your car. Next thing you know, somebody steals it. And then, you're complaining about that and trying to contact CMR about a stolen vehicle. Go collect your vehicle. It shouldn't be left there on the roadside for days on end. So Marva says exactly all groups should have ropes and marshals. Yeah, I agree. Because I mean, first of all, if you haven't paid to participate in the parade, you shouldn't be in the parade. So I don't know. Charlene says didn't see any of them. So I guess I was correct in assuming that there weren't any. You mean the marshals? I have no clue. Dane says the same thing. They need to put back marshals and ropes. They only join in if you have your band on. I really don't know why they stopped this. Because trust me, these kids, yeah, I mean, that should not be permitted at all. So there should be some degree of enforcement. Maybe we'll speak to the CayMas people about, why and how they're going to fix some of this stuff. It just sounds like it's an annoyance. I didn't go watch the parade or anything, or whatever y'all call it. Carnival, sorry. So Gabby says, thank God Carnival only one time for a year because Lord, Anna would complain about Christ. If you had the chance. Don't like it, stay behind home. She said something else, but and that's my position on it. I mean, I stayed home. I don't need to see it. That's fine. But at the same time, I do think that some of these concerns are valid. The ones about the children being involved, I think, is very, very valid. Now, I saw a comment from Susan. She says there's always church to leave your kids at. Well, I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Why y'all just leaving your kids everywhere? I mean, even church can be safe and it cannot be safe. So, I don't know about that, about just leaving your children. Take your children with you. Enjoy family time. Summer's here. Y'all be so ready to get rid of these poor kids. You're ready to dump on anybody and everything. I get it that you need a break, but my gosh, no, son. Okay. Let's talk about garbage, generally speaking. Then I want to talk about this Cuban who's protesting at our government building this morning. The lack of respect for this country continues, and we really need a deportation order in place. This man has got to go. But before we get there, look at this. This is somebody's garbage bin area. This is how they're keeping it. And you know what? We've been very, very effective with naming and shaming blue spot violators. The police are now ticketing y'all. I must say, can we please get an increase in the fees? Because $100 is simply no deterrence whatsoever. it needs to be a minimum of $500, $1,000 or more to park in a handicapped spot. But we've been reporting them to the police. Once the police have evidence, they are contacting these people, making sure that they don't have a sticker. And if they don't have a valid handicap permit, they are ticketing them. So good on the RCIPS. So we're not just sending it or posting it online. Yes, there's an element of shame where that is involved, but we are also going the extra step of sending it to the RCIPS and expecting them to enforce it and do their jobs. And I must say that thus far, the traffic officers have been doing just that. So y'all need to stop parking in handicapped spots. They are there for people who actually need them. You should be thankful that you're able-bodied and you can get up and walk. Look at this garbage. This is so disgusting. So this is another one. Let me see what the location of this one is now. Y'all just need to do better. Okay? I mean, this is disgusting. So this one is West Bay, Borough Street, house number 47. You should be embarrassed to have your garbage bin looking like this. Can y'all believe it? And yes, we're going to post y'all up on social media. Y'all ain't got no shame. You don't want to keep your yard clean. You don't want to keep your garbage bin clean. Then clearly you just don't care. Look at this. The physical bin is falling apart. The garbage is shown all over the place. Now I know y'all thinking, well, Sandy, maybe it was the dogs that went and pulled it out. Maybe it was the chickens that pulled it out. Well, I don't think the chickens knocked down the physical garbage bin. Look at this. Get yourself some proper bins and bags. You see all those small Foster's bags, the green bag. DEH has already said they don't pick up your bag like that. They don't pick up your garbage like that. You have got to properly bag it in the bigger bags. Okay, so please, number 47, West Bay, Borough Street, please do better. Fix your garbage. It's an eyesore. We're talking about we have a beautification committee. They can't even keep up with y'all and your nastiness. No pride. When did this become us? No, sir. Anyway, we're going to post them up this morning. Jackass of the day, sorry to say. Y'all can't keep your place clean. I sometimes I have to wonder, if the outside of your house looks like this, what does the inside look like? Because I would be so shamed to have my outside looking like this. My God, imagine what people can't see. No, sir. I can, oh Lord, don't get me started. I can only imagine ugh. Come and see. Probably cockroaches everywhere and this and that. No, sir. Anyway, this is what that house looks like. Wow. No pride. No pride whatsoever. All right, let's do a few more. Down in Lookout Gardens, there is a real issue with all this debris everywhere. Look at these dumping locations. I don't know who yard this is, but look at this. Wow. Is this the Lookout Gardens? No, I think this might be somewhere down Boston town. But anyway, what an eyesore. One pile of trucks, abandoned vehicles, everything. This looks like a garage. Looks like somebody's trying to run a garage. I think this one is actually no, this is not the Lookout Gardens one. This is another one. And I know that DEH has indicated that some of these people, this is Lookout Gardens. Look at this. The very abandoned ab machine. Look at part of the exercise machine. Chairs, all kind of disgusting garbage. Y'all do know that we have a public dump, right? There's removal companies. You can contact DEH. They will assist. Look at this. Bags of garbage just thrown. Mattresses, old refrigerators. I mean, this is disgusting. And then there's the roadside right there. This is what we're doing, folks. This is Cayman. Our beautiful island looking like a Mount Trashmore 24/7. Littering is against the law, but once again, the fines are barely nothing. Wow. Osa? This is us. There was a time that honestly, Caymanians did better, but I don't know what's going on. We have just gotten so slack. It's ridiculous. Okay, let me talk about this Cuban guy, and then I want to talk about some stuff that's been happening on the bypass that's extremely, extremely dangerous. So the Cuban guy, I can't remember what his name is, the one that's always protesting out by the government building. He commandeered an international ship in Cayman waters. They almost had to shoot him to take the ship back. They stormed the ship. Our police have been playing with this man. CBC is playing with this man. The government is playing with this man. And I'm going to make a public cry this morning that it is high time that something be done about him, because he is so disrespectful. He takes things to a different level that I have never seen. Trust me, there's a few choice words that I have for him, but I can't see him on the radio. He is the epitome of what we say when we say somebody's ungrateful. Look up ungrateful in the radio, and right next to ungrateful should be this man's picture. Why is he here? We need to get rid of this man. He has broken laws. He's endangered the life of his own child. And we allow him to continue to do all this stuff with no way of stopping him. And every single day, he is becoming bolder and bolder by the day. So let me show y'all something. And then y'all have got to tell me. He keeps setting up these Facebook pages, right? Where he actually goes on there protesting and cussing our government to the high heavens. And our government seems to be afraid of doing anything. Our government seems to be afraid of doing anything to stop him. Let me show y'all something, and then y'all need to explain to me how this is permitted. Because if this was anybody else, you would have been arrested. You would have been put in jail, right? You would not be permitted to protest in a public place like this. And I'm going to show y'all why I say that. Hold on now. It's downloading. So last week he had a protest, live streaming from inside of CBC. Now, you know, there's certain places that you cannot record. You can't record at the government building, inside the government building, in the lobby. You can't record inside immigration. In the airport, you're not supposed to be recording in there either. So how is it that this man can protest inside of the CBC enforcement office, and he's not been arrested and nothing happens to him? Can y'all tell me how this is permitted? Because inquiring minds want to know. This guy has a serious problem. He is just ungrateful. But why are we keeping him here? Get rid of him. Good morning, caller. I don't want to hear nothing about human rights from you, sir.
Well, you don't have to. But if you don't want to hear about human rights, when your rights are violated, you will understand.
Well, you know what, Denny? This is the kind of.
Wait. I'm not ending. What I want to say to you is, you said inquiring minds want to know.
Yes.
Well, let me tickle your inquiring mind.
Okay.
What is the law and regulation that says that you can't do recording in a public place?
Well, I don't know about in a public place, but you can't do so inside of certain buildings.
A club, that the government administration building is a public place.
No, it's a private place accessible to the public, and there is a difference. That's not a public place by definition.
Wait. Who owns the government administration building?
The government of the Cayman Islands, which makes it that's a privately owned entity. Now they make it available to the public.
No.
But there's certain
no,
behaviors that you can't go to the hospital and decide what you're going to do inside the hospital either.
No. I challenge you to show me anywhere in law where the government administration building is a private place.
Denny, you go to Miami International Airport. That's a public place?
Yes.
Okay. Can you record in the Miami International Airport?
But they will have restricted areas.
No. You cannot use your phone when you come off the plane and you go all the way, even before you get to the customs officer, you're not supposed to be using your phone.
Because that is the restricted area.
So
but
what?
But wait.
How's that any different?
Let me explain. When you get out of your car, out of a taxi or out of a bus, and you walk inside of Miami International Airport, say that you're approaching the counter to check in, and before you get to the security checkpoint, that is a public area. And the same is true at the government administration building in the Cayman Islands. When you open the door and you walk in where everyone has access, walking up to the receptionist or those stands, that's public. Now, when they say, okay, you're gonna have to sign in, you wanna go upstairs, when you pass that security checkpoint, you're no longer in a public place. But you said that inquiring minds wanna know.
Well,
so what I want you to do is show me where in law where that's not a public place.
Well, it's not a public place because, like anything else, it's owned by somebody privately. How does the public own the government building?
Who owns it?
Government.
The government is not a private entity.
They own private assets that you can't just do whatever you want with them.
No, the government is not a private business. That is why we have rights that apply to the government, and they express them as being vertical, not horizontal, meaning I can't come to your house and demand the video inside of your house because you're private. That would be a horizontal relationship. The vertical relationship is that your rights apply, you're protected against abuses of the government.
No, but I mean that's different than talking about the actual physical structures which are owned by someone.
No. They're owned by the public. The reason
if I own the government building, then I can go there and do whatever I want with it.
Listen to me for a second. You see the CCTV cameras on the light poles? You have no expectation of privacy in a public
No, because that is in a public space. Inside of a building is not considered in a public place. It might be accessible to the public.
Yes, and when it's accessible to a public, it is open to the public. You do not have the right to go beyond the security checkpoint. I know what the signs say. I saw the sign that no use of the cell phone is what it says. What they mean by no use of the cell phone is no video or no camera photography. But what the sign literally says is no use of the cell phone. It doesn't say no photography.
Well, okay.
You said you wanted inquiring minds wanted to know. I'm saying to you that if you see, all right, let's put it this way. Foster's Food Fair. They're a privately owned business, but they're open to the public. That's a public place. If you want to go in there and record, you can. The only difference with Foster's is if Foster says, well, I no longer want you to do that, then you have to respect it. That private owner has said they don't want you to do that on their premises.
Well, I think any property owner can put restrictions in place once you're inside their building.
The government would need to have a law defining what is a public place and what is not.
Well, okay, take public beach, for example. You can't just go in public beach and do whatever you want, although it's a space for the public. So
Right,
it's
because
the
there are laws.
same.
No. I can go on public beach and I can take a video and I can take pictures. What I can't do on public beach is do things that are illegal, like something that Alejandro might be interested in, or commit a crime of some other sort. I can't do those things because those laws say you can't do it. And so my question is, which law says you can't record in the publicly accessible areas of the government administration building?
I don't think it's a specific law, but it's like if you own something, you have certain rights. I mean, you can put things in place. So I'm not really.
Yes, but we own the building.
Not in the way that you think you own it.
And the government doesn't own it in the way you think they own it. They're not private, they're public. Anyhow, hopefully some legal eagle out there will share the law with us.
Well, Jim says that you're correct, but I would love to hear this. I would love to hear lawyers speak on this, because again, I think there's a distinction between government lands and property, and theoretically you think you own it, but in real terms, it's actually government owned and government held, and it's subject to all sorts of things. That's why they decide contracts and other things in relation to government property. They don't come to you and say, "Oh, we need your permission because you're owner of the government property."
That's correct, because they're acting on our behalf. But what I'm saying is that you need to have a law that says you can.
All right, let's get to the more important question here. Why are we permitting this ungrateful man from Cuba to constantly do things like protesting in our government buildings when nobody else would be able to do that without being arrested, because the sign is very clear and it's there, right? Protesting on the steps. Now he's protesting inside. He's commandeered a ship, right? Endangered his own daughter's life, threatened the lives of people on that ship, and nothing has happened to this man. Can you answer that? Because inquiring minds want to know, why is that allowed?
Well, commandeering a ship is a very serious crime,
right? So why has nothing ever happened to him?
Why aren't the law enforcement doing a lot of things in Cayman?
Well, I mean, I have a very specific question about this one. Here he is again this morning.
I understand. I can't tell you why they're not doing their job.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, here they are again this morning, folks, in the government building, protesting. Yes, he pirated a vessel. Thank you, Natasha, for the correct term. And again, walking around free as possibly can be.
Okay, but okay, protest.
Vamos a hacer el video. Here
vamos a hacer el video.
Porque yo le digo a usted que yo no quiero ningún tipo, yo le digo a usted que yo no quiero ningún tipo de problema con el tema de mi hija. Yo se lo digo a usted, vamos a hacer el video.
Carrying on, threatening the workers and doing the most.
Buscar papel aquí, que esa niña no pertenece aquí a la isla, y yo quiero recordarle aquí a la gente del Departamento de Inmigración, al gobierno, a la policía, cuántos golpes nos dieron ahí en ese barco para retornarnos a esta isla. Yo le dije que yo no quería virar. You said something different. You said something different inside, and you know. Don't lie. You said something different inside. She is my baby, and everybody knows me not quiet in this island. My family here because you returned my family in this island. And everybody knows that.
Nobody can deny the education of my daughter.
These people are the most ungrateful.
Everybody knows that Javier is here again. You know Javier is in the island. You know Javier is in the island. Don't respect.
Legislature to change the law.
All right, Denny. Thank you.
All right.
We have another call on the line. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Ms. Sanu.
Morning.
Dana is Agavita from PPM.
Sorry, say that again.
Dana is Agavita from PPM.
Oh, Lord.
Distractor. He distracts positive questions and runs it for a distance that makes no sense. Just like PPM had done in the country, there's no future for the children. And the first step of war in the Cayman Islands will never stop. Please get the Cuban and take him to the airport on a one-way ticket.
Mm-hmm.
It would be the best bet.
Thank you.
It would help the law, the government, the community, and the tourism.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of him before somebody go and get in trouble. Because we live 150 years in peace without them kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
All right. Appreciate it, caller. We have another call in the line. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Sandra. How are you?
Morning. Not bad. How are you?
I'm good. Listen to me. What grounds is that Cuban on the island though? Does he have any
I think he
asylum? Does he have any
actually,
papers?
yeah, I think we have given him political asylum, believe it or not. And now we see
Okay.
Someone like him, we
Okay.
could see why the Cuban government should have and would have dealt with him in a very different way. Because I'm sure he wouldn't be doing this foolishness in Cuba.
Yeah, but political asylum or anyone that is granted a status or any sort of residency through government. I mean, those in work or in immigration should know this because it's in the law.
Mm-hmm.
And you break the government law, or you murder somebody, or you commit an offense against the Cayman Islands government, they can pull them. So what in the hell is Jeremy Scott and everybody inside of work doing? That is my question to them today, especially to the higher ups. Because one, what grounds is the wife there under or the girlfriend? When she came there, she came on a work permit. Why?
Exactly. And that's one of the
on?
things that he's been
Time?
protesting in the past is because we wouldn't change her immigration status to suit him. Because she
Yeah, but
doesn't
you
get political
can't change-
asylum
they
just because he
cannot
has it.
change her exactly. They cannot change her residence. She cannot be granted asylum because he has it. She has to get a work permit. I mean, these are common sense stuff. You read the Gazette, you read the labor law board laws. You go. This is the same thing with this English test. There's no such thing gazetted in the law that states that you must take an English test to remain in the Cayman Islands. It's a myth made in white and black and white in that immigration. If somebody takes it up upon themselves to go to court, a lot of people can be disappointed because it was never gazetted and they cannot force you to take it. You understand? So this woman here, first of all, when she came here, she didn't even pass her damn English test. Okay? So how she got her work permit granted to be in a bar, I don't know. They put pressure on those that they want to, because if you ask me, if you go around every one of those bars in Cayman, those bartenders doesn't know English. So what happened? All the immigration female male officers sleeping with them or just bypassing the English test, or the members on the board just playing a blind to the situation. They need to start giving explanations to everybody. If you can pass the law for everyone, for one, you pass it for everybody. When you pull a batch of banana, not all is the same, but it's on the same sucker. Okay? So they better put themselves together, because the way if you was to go to Cuba, you'll be the first one penalized. When you go into that damn airport, the first thing they want to tell you, take out your perfume. That shouldn't be entered to Cuba. They treat you like you're a hog. So I don't understand why is it we allowing him. If it was one of our we'd had Caymanian boys, they would have done throw him in prison. But I already said they need to get rid of that Jamaica force we have there, because that is the Jamaica National Cayman Force. Okay, get rid of that. Get rid of the higher ups outside of work, because they're not doing nothing but what is convenient to them. And then maybe like that, the laws would be in place.
All right, caller. Thank you very much. We have another call in the line. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program. Hold on. I think this one was a WhatsApp call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program. Hello.
Hi, pleasant morning.
Morning.
Thanks for having me.
Yes,
I have
ma'am.
a little concern, and I just want to voice my concern.
Just a quick second. Does it have
I am
anything?
a caregiver.
Just 1 second for me, my dear. Does it have anything to do with the Cuban situation we're talking about right now?
No, it
No.
doesn't.
Okay. All right. I'm going to ask because we're kind of on a very specific topic that I'd like to get some movement on. So can I please ask you to it's open mic, but we're trying to focus on a few things. So I know I've been trying to get to the caregiver topic. Can we aim for tomorrow to maybe have you call in?
All right, no
Yeah.
problem.
Okay, dear. All right. Thanks very much. Let me say this about this Cuban guy, right? This is his page. He always having to set up these new page and change pages because I think Facebook keeps taking them down. Here's another one where he has that one of our own Caymanian immigration officers, Chastine Rankin. It seems like his current issue is, I guess he can't get his child in school. Of course, we're paying for everything for these people. They don't have time to work, right? So they're protesting when we don't give them enough food vouchers. We're not paying their apartment. They've demonstrated that they're extremely nasty people. They destroy rental properties and the government still has to continue to support them on our dime. So he puts us up to the migration officer who discriminated against my daughter within your offices. Please next time have courage and express your hatred in front of the girl's parents to answer who was the officer. I don't know. I just know that you didn't have the courage to tell the truth when they ask you the question. I don't even know what he's talking about, but okay. I guess that's what the Cayman Islands Immigration Department does best, lying. This is a man, for full disclosure, who has actually accosted me in public, in a public space, a private building, a public space, in A.L. Thompson's, because, you've had negative things to say about us, this, that, and the next thing. Y'all, like that previous caller said, y'all need to do something about this man, because you're going to force somebody to have to defend themselves one day and somebody's going to get hurt. The irony of when he approached me, and I filed a police report, but in their useful inability to get anything done, we don't. There were actually people in A.L. Thompson's who approached me and said, Sandy, are you okay? Do we need to step in? The A.L. Thompson security guard was useless, I should say, right? They did nothing. I went in there to buy one item. And you know what that one item was? A box cutter. And the one day this boy is going to try this, I call him a boy because he can't be a man going on like this. He can roll up on me with a box cutter in my hand. I say, keep coming at me. Live streaming and cussing me out and all kind of stuff in Spanish. Keep encroaching on my personal space and you're going to see what the F going to happen around here. You see, this is what happens in this country. Police not helping you. Useless security guards and buildings not helping you. Right? This man has had the free will to pirate a ship, do whatever he wants, and everybody's sitting down in this country like a bunch of idiots. Can't get rid of him. Can't do anything about this man. He can roll up on Caymanians like he not got no damn sense with a box cutter in their hand. I say, you keep threatening me, and the minute I feel unsafe, I'm going to have to take some action. Then who are they going to want to arrest? They're going to want to arrest me for having to cut this man up. You see the foolishness? The predicament that they're putting people in? Y'all need to do something about this man. He is disrespectful, and he's dangerous, and I think he has mental health issues. Here's a video that he was last week.
Family. Don't respect my family, respect my family.
Enforcement.
I
This
told
is what
you.
this man was going on
I
with.
need that Lara. Who is the responsible for the Lara? I want my baby go to school. I want my baby student in this island because you return my family here.
Want his baby to go to school. You need to get the hell out of here. Seriously.
Las cosas son así, hacer. Óyeme, mira, yo le voy a decir una cosa. Yo llevo mucho tiempo tranquilo, yo estoy tratando de arreglar los problemas que yo he tenido aquí en la isla. Yo estoy tratando vaya, óyeme, hermano, tratar de no llegar a estos lugares para ver a esta gente, porque yo sé lo cínico y lo descarado que son. Vengo ahora por la mañana aquí porque necesito un documento de migración.
This man hates
Necesito un documento de migración. Oye, veo que te digo
Why is he here?
Necesito un documento de migración, caballero. Un papel para que mi hija pueda estudiar en las escuelas de Cayman. Yo me fui, no acepté.
We must pay for everything. We must do everything for him.
My family. You want to talk about something? Talk about Mr. Sandra from Cayman Road. She liar. Your people.
I didn't even listen. See, he actually he mentioning my name again. What do I have to do with his issues? Or he loves my name. He loves to mention me. Sir, you need to go and sit down. Go back to Cuba. Go and tell the Cuban government about all of your concerns there. Get out. Seriously, there's very few people that I would say this to in this country. He is one of them. You need to get out. You need to go. You're not welcome here. We don't want you here. Caller.
Yeah, Sandra. Just listening to that clip. Now, those that can understand Spanish, he's an angry person. That is
Yes.
not the type of behavior, the personalities that we want here for sure.
Yeah.
Let him go back. Let him take whatever he got, which wouldn't be much when he came here, and go back. I
Yeah,
said it
it's
before and I say it again, and I have no shame in saying this. I am a Cuban descent, and the most ungrateful people that you want to come across is Cubans. There's none. I've met people, let me tell you, bloodline. They come, they get, they're just like they're entitled to everything. We must do it. America must do it. Now I saw something on YouTube, whatever it was, Instagram yesterday, where they're in Trinidad behaving rudely because they have a different mentality about prejudice. Their prejudice is not on a level of other prejudice. Some of them they black as my shoe, but they still very prejudice of people of different nationality. Racist, I would want to say that's a hard word, but it's true. We do not need that guy. Listen to what he's saying or get it interpreted. He's an angry person. He don't have nothing. We shouldn't be wasting money on him or
exactly.
anybody for his good. Let him go back. Let him go back. Bye.
All right, my dear. Alejandro, oops. I think I accidentally had to hang up on Alejandro. Sorry, Alejandro, you're gonna have to call back. I didn't listen to this whole tirade, but ironically enough, this section now he's cussing and going on about me. Yes, Alejandro, morning.
Yeah, so what you're saying now in this video here, he's showing that he's protesting because the government don't want to accept his daughter because he can't afford to get her enrolled in school.
No,
or they
listen to me. His underlying problem is this. He has political asylum. His wife, who's Dominican, does not. He thinks that we should just give her the same status as him because he wants to write the laws in this country. That's the attitude that he has. And because the daughter is taking the nationality of the mother and her immigration rights, now he's upset because we won't just put her in a government school and pay for everything. This man needs to go. He's a proper idiot.
This guy is ungrateful because, okay, if I was to do that, that police would be having me making a statement right now, right?
Of course. Everybody else would be arrested
they would
in this
have
country,
me
but this
making
man...
a statement to the police right now, and I have probation tomorrow at a court order.
Last week, a few of the Cuban nationals got to I think it was actually Honduras, and they were there telling people in Honduras about how Cayman is so horrible and we're not treating them right and this, that. Then don't come here.
You see what happened?
Don't come.
You see what happened? We have police enforcement officers. We have a group of law enforcement officers that are freaking whatless. Whatless, like literally, they don't know how to attend to certain situations in public because you know what? They feel like they're not entitled to mess around with somebody as long as they're not threatening no one. What's going on with this?
This man,
What's going on?
is actually,
someone get threatened.
This man has threatened people, and our government still sitting back. The police not doing anything.
If ain't nobody getting threatened and making a report to the police about this old idiot. And yeah, you call him an idiot because he think he gonna come here and Cayman go protest, but when he go in Cuba, they're gonna have him burning in fire. But this is why they take away their right from them because they don't have no respect in public. Make the truth be hurtful.
Listen, it's an unfortunate situation, but I can almost understand why the Cuban government, they know their people. And maybe there's I know how horrible this is going to sound from a human rights perspective.
Because they're not.
Yeah, but they actually understand what they have to do.
Telling me I got all right, my daughter telling me I got to go now.
Yes, all right. No, but I mean, listen, maybe the Cuban government understands them the most, and that's why they can't give them no rights. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? They come here and get everything on a silver platter, and they still remain some of the most ungrateful people that not some of the most ungrateful people I have ever seen. What is wrong with this man? He is just unbelievable. I'm trying to find the story that somebody sent me. If you're listening to the show and you sent that to me last week about the Cuban nationals, please send it again, because apparently they were in Cuba last week protesting and carrying on about how, oh yeah, we're not treating them right. Hello, you don't have to come to the Cayman Islands, right? Bypass us, please. Put your little GPS on your boat. Don't come to Cayman Brac. Don't come to Grand Cayman, and don't come to Little Cayman. Keep heading for the Florida Keys. If you make it, good luck. If you don't, we'll say a little prayer for you. Enough is enough. These people are just trying to impact our international reputation in a way that I have not seen before. They're disgusting. I'm all about human rights, but there comes a point in time when I think we need to put our foot down and say that certain people are not welcome in our country. Morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy. I'm listening to you, and I'm listening to Alejandro, and I'm agreeing with all you guys. But you know, I want to put my 2 cents worth in. Shame on the government, the Cayman Islands government, for allowing it. Cayman Islands government is playing what the Spanish people in Honduras talk about, salvavidas. That means lifesaver. When did Cayman become a lifesaver to be taking in all of these people, these Spanish people that are so ungrateful? After or during the pandemic, we had a situation where we had some Dominicans, if you guys remember, they were discriminating against Cayman, so that they had went on social media and medias around the world discriminating against Cayman. Who allowed them to come here? Cayman government. Who is every minute you hear? I just read last night, 79 people, Cubans, got repatriated. How much money it costs for them Cubans to be repatriated? Well, I don't know if you know, a couple of years ago, I heard that it was costing over $3 million. Because Caymanians here, they're getting their houses taken away. Caymanians that don't even have a place to put their heads. And government can be sending out these statistics about how much money they're spending on repatriating these ungrateful people.
Well, that's not even the repatriation. That's keeping them here while we go through the process of repatriation. Like I said from last year, that needs to be expedited. I agree with you.
That's just part of it then.
Yeah.
So shame on Cayman. You know what? They say when the cow already gone through the gate, there's nothing that you can do. But that's not right. That's not true. You can still close the gate and don't allow anybody else to come in. Or don't let, or I should say, not allow any more cows to get out.
Yeah.
Shame on the government. I don't say shame on the people that come in here and doing what they're doing, you know. It's the government that is allowing it to happen. Shame on the government. Cubans, Santo Domingans, they're the most ungrateful Spanish nations in the world. And it comes to Cayman and take advantage of the Cayman government or the Cayman people because the Cayman government allowed them to do so. Shame on the government. What a hot mess.
Yeah, you better believe it. What a hot mess is right. Thank you, caller. I appreciate it. This is beyond a hot mess. And I think that, you know, I'm not trying to class all Cubans together because I think there are some good Cubans. Like I said, even me, my family, you know, we have Cuban family living in Cuba. They don't want to come Cayman and they have every right to come. They're Caymanian descendants. You know what I'm saying? They're McFields, but they don't want to come back. That's their choice. But I'll be damned if you're going to come to my country and disrespect the people, the system, the government, everything here, break laws, pirate a ship, and no consequences? Well, y'all need to tell me how this man is getting those privileges, because I need some of that too. And he loved to have my name up in his mouth. This man needs to go. People have messaged to say that he was working for the Cuban government and he's a spy. Do we know this for a fact? Because somebody's sending me a video on the matter. We don't know nothing about him. We only know the lies he come and tell us and give him what the hell it is? Give him political asylum. We don't know. And it wouldn't be the first time that Cuba has sent spies out and whatever to infiltrate and destroy people's country and so on.
Nobody said nothing.
He is sick. People don't know about, I saying stuff about him. Nobody's saying nothing. Really? No, you know what the people are saying? The people are saying, get out. That's what the people are saying. Look at how he's accosting this poor immigration officer. Look at this CBC officer.
Esto es mentiroso. No lo voy a hacer. ¿Qué hora llega el jefe? ¿A qué hora llega el jefe? Yo no tengo el día entero. Yo no tengo el día entero. Yo soy un hombre de trabajo. Yo no tengo el día entero.
You imagine having to work in a hostile environment like this?
No tengo el día entero para ellos, para las estupideces y las mentiras de ellos.
Somebody can go in a government building and do this. You wouldn't do it anywhere else in the world. I can tell you that. You're not going to do it in the United States of America. You go up in an immigration building and try and do this and see who can get shot. Right? No country in the world, I don't care how many freedoms they have, how many Bill of Rights they have. There are restrictions in place, and this is ridiculous. It should not be permitted. And every single time this man does this, now he's inside the government building protesting. Every time we allow him to do this, he gets bolder and bolder and bolder. And y'all gonna see what's coming next. Somebody needs to stop him and get him off this country, off this island.
Van a resolver el problema. Mi hija va a estudiar aquí porque va a salir así ya. Yo no me voy a ir más, Tyler. No me voy a ir más. Ya me fui ya una vez, arriesgué mi vida, arriesgué la vida de mi familia para seguir buscando futuro más para adelante por toda la presión y toda la mierda que esta gente formaron aquí. Porque sin necesidad de ningún tipo nosotros teníamos que fajarnos y a pedir nada ahí.
Not our fault that you don't understand immigration laws.
Lo que pasa es que siempre es así. Siempre tiene que haber una bronca, siempre tienen que preparar sus mentiras para poder callar a la gente. Y eso no va a pasar esta vez. No va a pasar.
Caller, good morning. Not our fault that you don't understand immigration laws. Hello? Caller?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, and I know that he's not supposed to be recorded in that facility. So I would like to know why the person didn't call the police to arrest them, because he's
we all would love to know. We all would love to know.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's what I gotta say.
You know, he has the immigration officers. I'll show you this part here now. The immigration officers are afraid. I'm gonna mute it because apparently he's not saying such nice things, says Vanessa. See him here?
No, este cubano, sir. Bueno, falta respeto, sir.
All right.
No salió de Cuba para esto. No, yo salí de Cuba para
esto. So the immigration officer is hiding behind the corner. Don't even want to come out. This is what this man is doing. Putting fear and threatening and carrying on with our government workers. And this is being permitted. This is being allowed. Creating havoc. You soon see the little immigration guy come out. See him there? Hold on. Let me hear what he's saying. Poor him. I know he never signed up for this.
Vamos a llamarlo.
See him hiding around the corner. Poor him. What a stress. Like our poor people not got enough stress on the job.
Mr. Neil. At what time your boss coming? We don't have all day, Mr. Neil. No, don't say that. Talk English, because the people here want you to talk English. Talk English. I can talk English with you. And I want the other officer come and she say, and she repeat what she thought inside the room, because I listen her.
Wow.
I don't have that document to give you here.
Who can fix the problem, Mr. Neil? Who? Who is Scott? Who is Mr. Scott? Tell me, because you said Mr. Scott, but we don't know. Who is Mr. Scott? What is the power he have here?
What is the power he have here? Well, you're at immigration, Karen.
What time he come?
Who the head of immigration is? Who the head of WRC?
What's wrong with you?
No, what's wrong with you? I'm asking you, because the official inside the office, I listen when she discriminate my family.
Neil, usted, le voy a decir una cosa. Usted sabe perfectamente que esa señora que estaba ahí adentro se expresó
muy mal.
Déjeme hablar.
No talk English.
De una forma muy mal.
So she's talking. I mean, I understand that much. She's trying to talk to the immigration officer, and he telling her, "Oh, must speak in English." Well, according to one previous call, she don't speak none, so that might be why she's not gonna be able to speak in English. But you know, she's trying to tell him to stop so she can talk. This guy is out of control. He is out of control. Why are we allowing him to torment people?
Discriminate my family.
Neil, usted, le voy a decir una cosa.
Seriously.
Usted sabe perfectamente que esa señora que estaba ahí adentro se expresó muy
mal.
Déjeme hablar.
No talk English.
De una forma muy mal.
Why can't he buck up an ignorant Caymanian who don't care? Oh, please don't do it.
The official inside say, what your baby is no Caymanian, go far here. Take your baby and go far here. Your baby is no Caymanian. Your baby, everybody go far here. Inside the office. Yeah, but I come for because I need the ladder for the school, my baby. I can't ask in the official in the front desk, and the official say, Your baby don't have nothing here in this island. Your baby is not from Cayman. That's just the people discriminate. A baby have only 3 years, but they want the father shut up, don't say nothing. They want me close the mouth because this is not my island.
Well,
that's the problem. And I want to remember this country here. This family leave this island because no accept the law they have here in this island.
Wow.
I want to remember that my family is in this island because your government abused for leave my family in this island. Put my wife 2 days in prison and she don't do nothing in this island.
In prison, sir.
Fuck my hair here, the police. The police abuse in the boat and nobody said nothing in this island. We live in this island because the government, this island, come back my family, return my family here. I want the people know that.
No. You see,
I want the people know that. I'm trying to explain this in English.
You can't tell the truth though.
My family here, my family here in the island again. My baby's here in the island again. I know this father no quiet. This father no quiet. It's the choice my family. It's the choice my baby. If you don't want, why you don't left me leave this country? You tell me.
Yeah, we don't want you here, but you can't do it the way
you want to talk something. You want to talk something, people.
So you can't commandeer a Panamanian ship and tell the people on that ship to take you somewhere else. Do y'all understand what was about to happen if the RCIPS didn't go in and storm that ship that night? The Panamanian government, the owners of the ship were about to bring in private security and they would have shot and killed every single one of them, including that baby. I'm telling y'all facts. They said to this government, after how many days of these people commandeering their ship, we've had enough. We have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. We've lost our place in the Panama Canal. This is a private vessel and we need to go. Right? We saw these people out at sea. We were trying to help them instead of letting them sit there and drown. Now I'm sure they regretted that decision. And then they came on the ship. They threatened people. They locked themselves up in one little room, defecating all over the place with their nastiness. Had the poor child running a temperature, almost killed his own child. And he's sitting here talking foolishness about, oh, our government should have let him go and steal a ship in Cayman waters. Well, I have it on good authority. The owners of the ship made it very clear. We're going to bring in someone to deal with this since your government is not capable of dealing with it. And they were going to storm the ship and shoot every single one of them dead. So to save his life and the life of this ungrateful wife and the poor innocent child, our government went in and decided to the police finally went in and took control of the situation. Because these people, the Panamanians, were not going to play. They were not going to negotiate with them. They were going to go in there with force and take them all out. Okay? This is what he's upset about now? That our government should have let him continue to commandeer and pirate an international, a Panamanian vessel? But because it was in Cayman waters. But you know what the vessel owners told Cayman? This is what they said to them. Because Cayman like, no, y'all can't do that, you know? They said, listen, we will put this boat in gear and go a few miles out in international waters and take care of this situation. And Cayman will have no control of it, but y'all can still get the bad mark for allowing this to happen and for having, no control over this situation. That's what they were threatening our government to do. So finally, the RCIPS jump up. No, we'll go and deal with it. What did they do? Put the wife in lockup for 2 days? For endangering the life of a child? They should still be in jail. For pirating a ship and threatening people on the boat, they should still be in jail. But we don't have the testicular fortitude to do the right thing when it's required. You see, situations and people like this really get under my skin. We need to do better. This man should not be in this country under any circumstances. Strip him of his, you've got enough legal rights, in my opinion, to do so. The man commandeered, pirated a damn ship. You can't strip him by now of his so-called immigration status and send him back to Cuba? Huh? What are we doing? And then, hold on, I'll let you listen to a few more of his rants, but this is what else we're doing.
Arrojamos a las islas
Going overseas and complaining about
como a las
us.
12 del día.
This was just
A las
last
12 del
week.
día. ¿Por qué parte llegaron?
Llegamos por un lado que se llama West Bay,
Yeah.
final de la isla.
Uh-huh.
La embarcaza.
Sí, la embarcación llegamos hasta ahí, hasta el final de West Bay, aquí en la isla.
¿Los atendieron bien?
Sí, nos atendieron bien, nos dieron un salvoconducto ya. Andamos libres en estos momentos andando en la isla y vamos rumbo a La Ceiba, que para seguir caminando porque el destino final es Estados Unidos.
Destino final Estados Unidos.
Y nos sentimos de lo más bien, aquí nos han atendido. No es lo mismo que aquí que en las Cayman. Las Cayman nos trataron demasiado mal, estuvimos presos hasta 10 días allá en las Cayman, hasta logramos salir, escapados también como Cuba y llegamos aquí.
¿Tuvieron que huir de Caimán?
Tuvimos que huir de Caimán.
Qué barbaridad. ¿Cuántas personas hay?
Somos 15.
¿Entre ellos niños, mujeres?
No, todos somos mayores de edad, no hay mujeres, 15 hombres.
Yeah.
15 hombres en total.
15 hombres en total.
Came from Cayman.
Ahorita la idea es llegar a Ceiba.
Meanwhile, our government has said nothing to us about these 15 people that disappeared. I mean, I see one single press release. When did they leave next week? We don't know nothing about it, but yet they're showing up in Ceiba talking about 15 men come from Cayman. And then they got talking about the bad treatment they've been getting. Our government has not even said anything about this. This is pure slackness.
Como primer destino en tierra firme y luego proseguir hacia Estados Unidos.
Y luego proseguir hasta los Estados Unidos.
¿Tuvieron dificultades en el camino?
Sí, bastante. Tuvimos 20 días de navegación y fueron malísimos esos 20 días. No se lo desea a nadie, pero bueno, como cubano y el cubano que oiga esto, que tiene para salir, que salga, como pueda salir de allá. Y si es así, que no coja miedo y que salga, que mira aquí que libertad más buena hay y buenos corazones para acá, nada que ver con Cuba.
Bueno, acá en Honduras se maneja una postura, a veces el propio gobierno central vende Cuba, vende Venezuela como lugares muy bonitos, lugares donde se puede vivir tranquilamente como la vida en Cuba.
No, eso es mentira. Eso lo venden ellos, eso es nada más propaganda, nada más como decimos nosotros. En Cuba no hay libertad, no hay nada. En Cuba no se puede vivir.
¿No hay democracia?
No sé Venezuela, pero Cuba, yo soy de Cuba y no se puede vivir en Cuba. No hay democracia, Cuba es un país súper malo, todo el mundo está saliendo, eran 11 millones, ya quedan como 9, o sea que todo el mundo se está yendo por los Estados Unidos. Estados Unidos y diferentes otros países, lo de la gente salir de Cuba y coger libertad, que es lo que no tenemos allá.
El mensaje a los compatriotas hondureños es que ustedes van a pasar por diferentes departamentos, iniciando por Atlántida, y van a pasar por diferentes departamentos para que el trato sea igual como el que han recibido en Islas de la Bahía, aquí en Roatán.
Sí, esperamos que nos atiendan en lo que es Ceiba, que es donde vamos ahora, y no me sé los otros pueblos para allá, pero bueno, lo tenemos que cruzar hasta llegar a Guatemala, México. Espero que nos traten como nos trataron aquí, que nos han tratado lo más bien, nos dieron comida, nos dieron albergue.
Listen, I don't really care where you go. You can go to Guatemala, you can go to Mexico, and a business where you go. I think that it's high time that we start to send a very strong message that this type of ungratefulness is just absolutely ridiculous. First of all, somebody was just asking, which I think is a good question, how much did the Cayman Islands government had to pay in relation to that incident? Well, you know, the government is never going to tell the people the truth because we would all be disgusted if we knew. However, I can't vouch for this information one way or the other, but I would not doubt it. The price tag is that we had to pay $250,000 CI for the time that boat wasted here with these people. I wouldn't doubt it. Because when you're going through the Panama Canal and you lose your spot, it's thousands upon thousands of dollars. So of course we would be on the hook for that. And this man has the audacity to still be protesting and going on with his ridiculous behavior. I'm sorry, but my sympathy has run out.
Island talk about the Noli Cayazo. He talked about equality, but he discriminated my family.
Everybody.
You want to talk about something? Talk about him.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about Mr. Noli Cayazo. He taught equality in this island, and he discriminated my family. You want to talk about something? Talk about Mr. Sandra from Cayman Road. She liar, your people, but nobody said nothing.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Nobody said nothing.
Yeah.
Everybody, fuck, because that's the hypocrisy people we have in this island.
Right.
Now I taught English a little bit. You want to listen my English? This is my English.
Right.
I can't hear in peace. I need a ladder for the school, my baby.
Come in peace.
What happened?
I don't know what kind of peace he's talking about. By now, the police should have been there and arrested him long time.
Dígame lo que pasó, Erika.
Public disturbance. Threats to people.
El señor Joe Scott es el que va a tomar el caso. Él está reunido. Ya yo le dejé mi número para que él me llamara. Ya yo le dije muy bien a Neil que si a mi hija le niegan la educación, nosotros no nos vamos a parar por 12 días. La cosa va a ser peor, pero ahí vamos a pelear bien grande. Porque es nuestra hija y nadie tiene derecho a negarle la educación y nada va a pasar y él dice que hay
this is what he does with protesting going on. The government just gives him everything that he wants.
Porque no lo van a negar a nosotros porque tú explotaste mentira.
Yo no me exploté nada. No me exploté nada. Oye, yo vengo aquí, señor. Yo vengo aquí en tremenda paz por la mañana. Vengo así con mi aura, como dicen. Vengo con mi aura bien suavecita. A pararme aquí, a decirle a ellos en buena forma.
This woman just said that she spoke to the immigration officer and she told him, Mr. Joel Scott, get in contact with them. And she also left a note saying that if her child does not get into school, it wouldn't be only 12 days of protesting. It's going to get worse. Isn't that threatening the government?
Yeah, so, the government they're not gonna balls to do nothing about it.
I don't understand. You know what? I think it's time that the Cayman people start protesting themselves. I think it's time for the Cayman people to go by that government building in front of work, in front of every government entity and protest and show them what's their rights. I think the problem with us Caymanians is that it's only few of us that are willing to talk out.
Yeah, and that's why he can
sit down watching because they're cowards. I don't care who wants to call it out. We have too much cowards in our crowd.
Yes, and there's so few of us that he can name us. You know, the ones that have spoken out about this, Noel and Sandra. That's only two that he can think of. I mean, a lot of people are saying, listen, the wife is from the Dominican Republic. He has somewhere to go. He does.
But she just threatened the government. People know. Listen to me. I know 6 languages. And one of them is Spanish. And she just threatened the government and said it won't only be 12 days of protest. It will be worse. Okay? So that is a threat towards the government. So what is the government doing? Anyway, that's my 2 cents.
My dear, somebody said they arrested Lovell because she's Black. According to my Cuban friend, he's in the Cuban military. I will send you the video as soon as I have it. I tell you what, this is ridiculous. Morning, caller.
Good morning. Just a thought here. We cannot be slack here. Where's the minister that's in charge? And where's
the minister that's in charge of CBC?
Yes.
Border control. Well, that would now fall under the premier. It was Chris Saunders before.
Because at the end of the day, with this behavior, if their child was to be allowed to go to school and any behavior recall, can you imagine what would meet that school?
Imagine. Thank you, caller. Okay, another call. Morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, I need to say something. I didn't know all this was still going on.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
I said I didn't know all of this was still going on. I was on the waterfront.
Just a quick correction. Sorry, just a quick correction. Someone just corrected me that actually the border control part of it went to Dwayne Seymour, not the premier. So I know the ministries was split up. So my apologies about that. It's actually WRC and border control falls under Dwayne Seymour now. Sorry, caller. Continue. Yes, caller.
Serious? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you hear? I said I didn't know all this was still going on because I was down there the day when that ship was out in the thing that they say about that these people at barricade and police are going to take them off, but I didn't know that they were still carrying on, and I just listened to that man, and I can understand Spanish, and I can tell you one thing, he sounds serious. So they need to get him going. And then I heard the wife, and then you hear he came, call you, and he say, first I thought he was be talking about Sandra, and then he said, Mrs. But they is ungrateful people, because I can tell you when they had the things. We used to go to our group up there that were Martinez's, and I thought maybe they were family to my husband because his grandfather was from Cuba. And one name Rolando told me when they were carrying on and going on about demanding this and demanding that. He told me, he said he's a Cuban, but he was shame because they are one of the most ungrateful people in the world. He said you could give them A to Z, and some of them still not satisfied. He said, and they and how I see that one retaliate, nothing that he look very aggressive. He look like he would eat and kill you. So they need to try to get him out. And if they need marchers, I will be here to tell what she. I think that was last year. Tell her I will go because Cayman Island do have to keep them. They have enough people here that need and would appreciate more what they're giving them. And I've been saying that what they, and then they talking about Honduras. Yeah, because they can't go down there with the shit like how they come here. They got to say nice because they will get them out. They can't go down there carrying on like how they carry on here. And he looked very aggressive. And listen to some of the things that he's saying. She say he don't care what it will his child going to school. So sound like he will do anything. So they better get him and them going.
Thank you, caller. I appreciate it. We got another call in the line. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program. Yes, morning,
yes, ma'am.
caller.
Good morning.
Yes,
good
ma'am.
morning. I had no intentions of calling you today because in a way you were sticking me in my eye. But if this man now is currently protesting, I mean currently now, it's on another protest, and talking about well, my government didn't look here. Sandy, you should have been. You're a rebel. You're a revolutionary. The worst thing could have happened to you and Cayman is when you were raised abroad. And in some senses, that was the best thing that happened to you and Cayman is that you were raised abroad. But you should have known Shade Road because you would have caught the last of it. He wouldn't be saying one word in front of that glass house today or wherever he is. Because when the Panamanian government gave the solution, I can almost say that there would have been one wise head sitting up to somewhere near to the glass house to say, okay, that's the solution right there on a dock. You hear me? Outside of the pure baby, well, some people would have complained about the little baby, but if the little baby don't matter to the owners, I am almost sure. And when I think about my cousin that did, look here, Shade Road wouldn't have put up with this. This wouldn't been nothing worldwide. It wouldn't been nothing said because there wouldn't be nobody left. And I want one Caymanian in particular, Georgetowners, to say different on a call in and say different. Well, you know the radio going, so I just talking in hot air now on the phone.
Oh no, you're not talking hot air. We got almost 400 people online listening to you, so keep on.
Oh, but what I'm saying is, we are tired. We are Caymanians. We not talking nothing about human rights and denying people food, water, clothing, shelter, medicine. But people, this is what England is going through in our border. Well, England is this and England is that. Well, England might have been what they was in the past and now they're paying for it right now. But this is the same thing. In particular, England is going through and people don't want to see the people's point. This, I don't have no sympathy for refugees. And Charlene is one that lived close to refugee function when she was young. And I looked forward to the people getting away as a little girl. I just thought freedom from oppression. Okay, you come in, Cayman, you're good. What in the world is this? I don't have much sympathy for refugees.
Well,
I wouldn't want nobody talking them up.
I agree 100% with her. We should have let
It was a clean solution.
Yep.
$200,000 could have fixed me in a house. My house top need fixing. Mr. Premier, my house top need fixing. $200 and something thousand. Look here.
And you know what that did? Not a day in jail.
That emboldened the rest of them to do what they want to do and emboldened him to continue to do. Where was this baby born? This poor infant. Where was this poor infant born?
She was born in Cayman. That's why he's thinking he have all rights. You see, he don't understand the immigration laws.
Okay. let me say something.
Yeah.
Before last election season started, before campaign season started, I was on the radio about 3 or 4 times asking our people, the 400 that online now listening, we addicts to this kind of show, so I know some of them had heard that. We have things that we need to address, and the first on my list was the immigration law. We need to look at the immigration law. The whole country need to look at that. That don't need to be up in no high towers. That need to be down on the street with the common man, because when my grandchildren and great-grandchildren, which I do have, thank God, I do have them, when they come up, they don't have no place to go, because the whole world has commandeered the Cayman Islands. We don't think about that.
Yeah.
$200 and something thousand is plenty of money for some old people. I went to Uncle Rennie's the other day. Plenty of money for some old people.
Yes.
Plenty of money for people that want to go to school, who are generational Caymans that never gonna get there because $200 and something thousand went out in the border. This man is no more than what I heard we were writing laws about a couple of days ago. A bully. He is a bully. And if he had men, and I had to talk down one of my cousin's couple, when the other ones were out in front of the glass house carrying on, because he said he was going out there. I say, you gotta be a jackass. And I know he listened to this program because that's all he does. He just like me. It is terrible. How can these people call themselves leaders? The political class of this country who are elected to parliament, the government side, the opposition, and the Novarians. You are the leaders in this country. You are our defense force. Whether it be armor, sailing, aeronautics, whatever, you are our defense force. You're not gonna no strength. You're not gonna courage. Then write laws. Give us laws. And election season soon to start again. Campaigning soon to start again. The first thing I need to come out talking about, or I can talk the radio to pieces, is immigration. Then comes campaign finance reform. And Charlie, I plan more beside that, and I remember it already. And Charlene wants to know the money velocity in this country. Don't tell me nothing about no minimum wage. I don't want to hear all that. No GDP. I don't want to hear all that. Give me money velocity of 2 economies. The official economy and the unofficial economy. And believe me, tomorrow morning you're not going to get on here. Unless I am back here with my other wishes and the 400 people online, and I find a way to pull on ourselves together, especially generational Caymanians. We are the ones sitting down and doing nothing and saying nothing, and these people leading us, I don't know where but astray. We're looking for a Moses or a Mosiah. And as Caymanians, we can get the Mosiah before we get the Moses nowadays. So women come out of the closet. Come out of the closet. Nobody, this is not leadership. This is, the whole government should be the jackass of the day this time.
Yeah, well, I'm beginning to wonder, caller. I'm really, really beginning to wonder.
The whole government, and I'm not trying to disrespect the leadership.
See what this person said the Cayman Islands government uses as a one-leg man in an ass-kicking contest.
and I want to love them. I want to love them, and I want to respect them. But if you can't get respect, Charlie can't give you any respect. Mr. Panton, there is a man that I remember he was Imam on Panton. I used to call him OLP. I believe other people used to do that too. You got footsteps to follow. You're not going to be wandering in no dark. You got big shoes to fill. That's why people gave you a chance. Fill the shoes. Don't take advice from any and everybody. You come from a wise family, very educated people, landed gentry. You know no pull boy that they can pull and give a $5,000 to or a $50,000 to. Money not supposed to frighten you. When the people come with their this and with their that and with the next thing, Mr. Panton really should have known. OLP is rumored, and Steve McPhee can tell you that I believe if it's true or not, and I should say, Doctor, and have little manners. Dr. C. McKeeva could tell you that it was rumored when I was young, and I'm old like a Methuselah now, that Mr. Panton, Mr. Armand Panton, had taken on the British government back in the day, not today, back in the day. Mr. OLP had taken on the British government, and he won. Those are the shoes, Mr. Wayne Panton, that you have to fill. But it's not so hard for you because the footprints are already leading someplace. Just follow them. And Mr. OLP was nothing if he was not a man for this soil. And he wasn't ashamed to tell you that he had a little smudging. Maybe that's what made him so handsome. He had a little smudging too, so he would turn up in people's yard and you didn't even know he would come in. Okay? The rest of them now, they live in ivory towers. Them people back in the day, they would turn up in the downest yards when they had want something because they had their categories and they know how the thing had to go. We don't know nothing now. We keep pulling from people from overseas. They themselves want something. I don't know how good the advice you get from them is because they have their ultimate goal as well.
Thank you,
This
Colin.
goal has to be only about Caymanians, and I'm sorry for taking up all this time. Thank
Not
you.
a problem. We appreciate it. All right, folks. Here's another video that someone just sent. This is him again. I'm assuming this is today now.
Venimos a resolver este problema, hay que resolver este problema, señores. No, déjame hablar, mi Erika, déjame hablar. Sí, está bien. Yo vine aquí a molestar, no a portarme bien. Yo vine aquí a sentirme, ¿no? Yo vine aquí a sentirme en este lugar.
She's growing up against so much. Look at the poor little child sitting on the floor, Naina. She is growing up around so much ignorance and.
Vengo aquí por el papel que necesito para la escuela de mi hija, porque quiero que mi hija estudie. Cuando entra el oficial para adentro, empieza a hablar mil tonterías y a discriminar a mi hija, pero yo soy un padre que tengo que quedarme callado. Porque si yo digo algo, yo hablo algo. Si yo digo algo, hablo algo. Entonces yo soy el problemático. Yo soy el que tengo el problema. Yo soy el que altera el orden. Llaman a la policía y empiezan a mentir. Porque eso es lo que hacen. Dicen que yo soy el violento porque tengo que quedarme callado. Yo tengo que permitir que los oficiales de esta oficina discriminen a mi hija. Que solo tiene 3 años.
We need to get rid of him.
Este padre tiene que quedarse callado porque la sociedad de Cayman dice que yo tengo que quedarme callado. Yo tengo que quedarme callado.
Get rid of him.
Aquí tienen el derecho de discriminar a mi hija.
Paying attention. That's the only question.
Esta madre y este padre tienen que quedarse callados porque el gobierno aquí le da fucking ganas de pisotear la moral de estas 2 personas que están tratando de echar para adelante en esta isla sin hacer nada malo.
Enough of him and his foolishness. He needs to go. A listener to the program makes the following observations. They say, morning, Sandra, it's because of people like this Cuban why France is burning now, letting in too much scum from other countries. When enough of them get into the country, they become bold and brazen and eventually start rioting and destroying property. I tell you one thing, no, sir. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Well, I mean, Vicky, I guess we got to sit back and allow him to kill somebody or to harm someone seriously and do nothing about it. I don't know what more the government needs him to do to demonstrate the caliber of individual that he actually is. Somebody else sending me pictures of government having to rent places for them. And this is how they leave the rental places when they're finished. Have a look at this. Look at that stove. That's how they left a stove from a rental place. This is how they drive around in these cars with no license, no insurance, no nothing. Had a head-on collision and almost killed a Caymanian child from East End. And guess what? Nobody not gonna pay for that child's medical bills or vehicle or nothing. You see, this is the foolishness that I can't sit back and just say nothing. I mean, what? You know, times like this, I'm sorry, but there's a limit. Somebody said, did they not lock up Lavelle for being in front of the government building? But this guy is in the building doing whatever the hell he wants. No controls, no nothing. It's like, come on now. I'm all for human rights, but this has gone too far. Enough is enough. This man has rejected his rights to any human rights, to be quite frank and honest. Dottie, good morning. She says send him back to his country and to change his own homeland. Cayman is not for Caymanians anymore. Here's the thing. This man actually has options. He claimed he can't go back to Cuba. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, he got political asylum, so I don't know what evidence he supposedly gave them. But you know what? His wife is Dominican. He can go there. Yeah, that's a viable option. Put his backside on the next flight out of here and send him to DR. Good morning, Christopher. He says, is there a provision in the law that allows the government to revoke his status if a crime is committed? Why is the government joking with him? All of us are dumbfounded. I cannot believe that there were no consequences after this man pirated and commandeered a Panamanian vessel. How does that happen, Chris? No consequences. I don't understand it. I don't have the answers. I only have the damn questions. But none of it is logical to me how this man was not incarcerated for that. That is a very serious offense. Instead, we paying out allegedly $250,000 so the Panamanian government don't do something to us. Because that's how much money that vessel lost for the 2-3 days that it was here. The cargo on board, the crew members were being threatened and all kind of stuff. Boy, I don't know. I just don't know. Nathan says about the nationality of the child. Well, the child takes the nationality of the mother, as far as I'm aware. So the child is Dominican. But you see, this is where the crux of the problem is. He wants his wife to get his status as a refugee, and she can't get that. Thank God this government at least amended the laws recently, where even his refugee status is now subject to review, because the previous governments would give you refugee status, and that was for life. This government is saying, hold on, we're not going to give it to you as a lifetime appointment, because they come to the Cayman Islands, claim refugee status, get refugee status. As soon as they get it, then the next flight to Cuba. How the hell are you going to be talking about you're a political refugee? And if you go back to Cuba, you're going to, your life is in jeopardy. It's not, but yet you traveling back and forth freely. That means the whole premise of your entire application was a bold-faced lie, which I think 99.9999999% of them are lying about their life being endangered politically. They're economic refugees. That has nothing to do with being a political refugee. And there's a distinguishable difference, and they should not be getting political refugee status when it's all about economics. They're looking for a better way of life. I understand that. I get that. But then you don't get political asylum based on that. Right? So the government recognized what they were doing. And now this government, this administration, has at least closed that gap. And after, I think it's 3 years now, their applications are going to be subject to review. Cameron says, come on now, Sandy, not all human rights. Some of it doesn't make any sense. When it only applies to those that consider to be more human than others, human rights is not a match. Well, I guess we need to make sure that human rights is balanced, right? There has to be a limit. This is absolutely ridiculous. Live says the Cayman Islands government is acting like the UK government. This is ridiculous. Well, I don't know who the hell they're acting like. I just know that there has to be some changes. Vicky says yes, 99.99999.99999. Yeah? All right, folks. He'll continue his shenanigans until somebody stops him. If the government isn't prepared to do so, I guess we'll have to wait and see. We do have Mr. Brent McLean who wanted to clarify some stuff about Carnival. Let's go ahead and get him on the line since he wanted to clarify this. Let me see here now. We can wrap this up and move on from this topic. Ms. Vernita says, ain't he being a public nuisance? How can this man get away with such acts? A public nuisance is putting it mildly. Unfortunately, Miss Sandra, not only are we responsible for them, they're getting NAU benefits and all kind of stuff because he not got no time to work. When does he have time to work when he always out here protesting and demanding more and more and more and more and more from our government? I guess Mr. Brent got busy. He had messaged earlier to say that he would come on the live to speak on this whole thing. We'll try him one more time, and then if not, this person says, I had the idea that ungrateful ass was gone. That should have left the Panamanian. They should have let the Panamanian get his ass out of the ship and see where he would be now. Sandra, should he has lost that when he packed up and left the island. Morning, Mr. Brent.
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
Good morning.
Yes, morning. How are you?
Sorry, my voice is a little hoarse this morning.
Yeah, all that screaming you were doing this weekend, I'm sure.
I can't say so much screaming. It's just a lack of sleep and everything with regards to the carnival. It takes a lot to pretty much run a carnival such as this. So yeah, good morning.
Morning. So I wanted to, because we're going to move on this topic. I don't want to be talking about this tomorrow, but obviously there were some criticisms. You know, you're one of the, I think the organizers behind CayMas, and there were some criticisms. And the one that we're most concerned about is the lack of the cleanup after the event. So I did read some of what you sent through to us, and you know, your critics are saying that that's hogwash, that you should have had this in place. And they don't understand why it took days for you to recognize that the place wasn't being cleaned up. So what would you like to say on this, my dear?
Well, truthfully, not hogwash. I'm here to apologize to the people of the Cayman Islands. Absolutely. We failed in getting it done on time. Generally, what happened, our carnival has been on from 2017 until now, and this is the first time that we have had such a complaint, or we have had such a breakdown of operations. You'll know in 2017 up until now, when our carnival passed, it's clean. We have cleaners behind. That didn't happen this year, and we take full responsibility for that. There's no hogwashing. We make apologies to the people of the Cayman Islands. The fact that we didn't get that done. The logistics didn't happen the way that it normally happened in the last 5 years. So as soon as we realized that we hadn't gotten it done, which was Saturday afternoon after the parade, then by Sunday morning we couldn't mobilize anybody to go out because it was then Sunday. I got so from Saturday afternoon, I finally got somebody to get it done, but they wouldn't be able to go. They wouldn't be able to get out until Monday morning. We had already events over the weekend, and in fact, I even had a juve that ended at 6 o'clock Monday morning. And even after the cleanup of that, I personally drove all the way from East End down to 7 Mile Beach on the road to make sure that the cleaners were out. Spoke to the cleaners myself on the road, just to make sure that it was being done. Yes, it was a little bit late, but you know, we are just not hogwash. We're just making apologies. We did break down. We didn't get it done the way we normally would have done it for the last 6 years. So to the people of the Cayman Islands, that's why I'm here to make an apology on behalf of the directors and all of CayMas. I've since spoken to the Ministry for Tourism, spoken to the Honorable Kenneth Bryan, and we have made apologies to him. And we will be talking to him in a couple of days just to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. Also, I'm going to make sure that my directors, we're going to volunteer to give back time to the Cayman Beautification Committee, whatever they want us to do, just to make sure that we make it right for the Cayman Islands. Also, would like the people to know that CayMas is run by Caymanians, and we are are what we would call hardcore Caymanians, and we love our island. And the fact is that this is not something that we would deliberately do. Also, what happens too is each band, each mass band, each carnival band, they have their own trash bins on board with them. So the majority of the revelers, I would say the majority of the revelers are putting their trash within that. So we know that, and we know that we know what is done. We also know that there's loads of people that are on the side of the road, spectators and all of that stuff. So the trash is a combination of revelers and combination of spectators. But with that said, we always try to have a cleaning. For the last 6 years, our cleaning crew follows the parade all the way down as they clean. When they get to the end of the parade, they would go back and get whatever they need. That didn't happen this time. Like I say, some logistics just didn't happen. So therefore, it's all on us. We we recognize that, and I mean, we're humans, and when mistakes are made, you have to recognize those, and you figure out how to fix them going forward. So there's absolutely no hogwash. Here taking the blunt of whatever that we need to take, and do better going forward.
One of the other concerns, Brent, and I appreciate you taking the time, obviously, to come on the program.
Sure.
One of the other concerns was the enforcement of underage children somehow being able to join the parade. Did this come to your attention as an area of concern?
We hadn't heard anything of that. Each mass band have been given strict directives. They know the directives with regards to underage drinking. Each mass band have their own security within their group to ensure these things. We also have our own security, which are marshals that are marshaling the whole parade. But those marshals are just trying to maintain order, to make sure that people are safe, that nobody's going under the truck and that kind of stuff, and keep it moving properly, because it's a monumental task to make sure that everybody is safe. And at the end of the day, the most important thing is that people are safe and nobody get hurt on the road. So with regards to underage drinking, we haven't had any reports on that. But the mass bands themselves, the individual bands themselves, they know what our directives is. We give that out. They know the liquor license laws. They know the underage laws. They all know that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, children shouldn't be even participating in the parade.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, no, children are not supposed to, but every one of the mass bands gets a waiver from all the people that everybody, all the mass operators that they have to be 18 years old to be in the parade. We also, we've come to realize also too that there is an area of carnival. There's an age group of a carnival that is not captured, and that's one of the things that we want to look after this year, after going forward. Because the fact is that you have the junior carnival, which is more kiddies carnival, and that's from age whatever to about age 12. But then you have an age gap between 12 and 18 that there's nothing for them. So we have to capture that too. As if we're going to be the carnival that we say that we are, that's something that we're looking forward to in the coming year. We hope that we can do a carnival, which would be, I don't know if you can call it's a kiddies, I don't know if you call it a teen carnival, but those are areas that we're looking after. As the carnival grows, it's we have to keep adjusting as it grows. Yeah.
All right. Another question that has come in is someone has said, will CayMas consider meeting with Bada and the government to find a solution for one unified carnival? I mean, this seems to be something that continues to bother people.
Well, I figured if I got on the line, that question would come up.
This person said most of the bands from Bada are now with CayMas, We're tired of the two
Yes.
carnivals, and it's destroying a tourism product.
Right. The reality of it is I don't want to get into to depth with so much because there's so much that's gone behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know. Over the last 5 or 6 years, we have had countless meetings with Barbanu, with Bracanal, with the Cayman Islands government. We've been in countless meetings. And every meeting, and in truth and fact, CayMas have been very compromised. We try to compromise as many ways that we can. I'll tell the people which people don't know. At one point, we did have a meeting. We came to some kind of solution with regards to one carnival, doing a 10-week carnival. People must know we all agreed on that. We were happy with the outcome of that meeting. It appears that Barbanu was happy with the outcome of that meeting also. We went back on, that was a Friday afternoon. We went back on a Tuesday afternoon to sign this MOU. And when we got there, Barbanu decided that they didn't want to do that. So we have been there. CayMas have been there. We've been open arm. We have open our arm. We've compromised as much as we can with regards to trying to get one carnival. So a lot of people believe that that CayMas was here just to take the carnival. We have a vision of what carnival should be. We understand the economic value that it brings to this country, and that's the vision that we had. Their vision didn't match with what the vision that we had, and we tried to compromise. And at every corner, no one wanted to sign an agreement that we all came to. They decided not to. The discussions, I don't know if discussions will go on going forward. I don't know where that is going to lead to. I don't have a problem making a meeting once again. I mean, all the best I can hear people calling my phone right now, but our vision is there. Vision is an economic vision for the people of the Cayman Islands, and the reality of it is that we understand the economic impact it brings to the Cayman Islands. We had 500 or 600 people that came to the Cayman Islands this year for Carnival. 500 or 600 people will not come to the Cayman unless they've spent about $3,000. And you can put that all together. You'll understand that this little thing that we called CayMas Carnival is bringing in $2 million, $3 million for that period. So, that's our vision. And anybody that doesn't understand that, we can't understand why they don't understand that. So, talks could be had again. I don't have a problem with that. I don't know if the outcome will be any different because we have two totally different visions of what carnivals should be.
This person says big countries don't have as many carnivals as we do. It's a testimony to our immaturity and egos. Another person says Barbanu is dying a painful, slow death. So maybe the idea is just to wait them out and they're eventually going to disappear. So I don't know. Someone says, ask him what was the reason for Barbanu not signing the MOU. So I don't know that we want to get too deep into that conversation this morning, but I mean.
And you're right. I mean, what is the reason for Barbanu not signing the MOU? That they will have to tell you that, because I can tell you it was a vision that it was an MOU that we sat down for hours and went through. We went through the MOU for hours with the government, with CNCF. We were in a meeting, and everybody on a Friday afternoon said, "It looks good. Let's do it." We're going to come back on Tuesday afternoon and sign the MOU. The only person that got there to sign the MOU was me. I was the chairman at the time, and I was there prepared to sign the MOU. And everybody else that was in the room said, "Oh no, not working for us. We're not signing it." So Barbanu can explain to the people why they didn't sign that MOU, and now in turn makes CayMas look like we're the bad people, and we're not. We're just about our carnival. We want the very best for the Cayman Islands, and that's the only reason that we have.
All right, my dear. So hopefully the underage situation can be addressed. One observer did say that the band that you were in, which was the first band, they actually saw underage kids in there. So maybe you missed them. So I think that's definitely something that has to be addressed. Any thought to the time of year as well? Because it seems like a lot of people could barely survive the heat, the June heat, almost July.
Yeah. Well, the truth is, if you remember, the very start of CayMas was 2017. You remember for 2017, 2018, and I think 2019, that we were in a dispute with regards to dates and time. We initially started in May, which was suitable with temperature and everything. We wanted to do it on that weekend, but Bracknell had that weekend. And you will remember that that was the major contention at that time, that we went encroaching on Bracknell's weekend and that we shouldn't do that. And we understood that. So eventually we decided, let's not go down that road anymore. Let's find a weekend for ourselves, because we definitely have to have a weekend, a long weekend for people to fly in. You can't have a carnival for one day and people's going to fly from the UK or from all over the world just to come to our carnival. So therefore, that's why we have a calendar that goes for 6 days, 7 days. So the only other weekend that was available that would not encroach on anybody's other weekend was in July. And yes, it is hot. So, we are doing the very best with the cards that's been dealt to us. We moved from May just because we did not want to have a dispute with Bracknell anymore. So we're now in July. Will things change? I'm not sure, but yes, it was definitely hot on the road, and we know that, and we understand that. We did go to every band and to all the masqueraders and ask them to continue to hydrate on the road, because we knew it was going to be very hot on the road.
Right. Okay. Brent McLean, thank you so much. Appreciate you jumping on the show this morning and explaining some of these things to us.
Yep. And like I say, once again, I appreciate you having us on. I thought that it was very important for us to come on and explain our situation. Also explain the fact that we take the brunt of the blame. We're not here trying to sidestep anybody or sidestep anything. Anybody goes out to the road right now, you'll see that everything's been cleaned up. Yeah, it was all delayed. We make apologies for that. We'll be working with the Ministry for Tourism. Like I said, I spoke to the Minister, Kenneth Bryan, and we'll be working with them and the Cayman Beautification Committee. We'll do some volunteer work for what happened. And I guarantee you that it's not going to happen in the future. So just
good.
Once again, apologies to the Cayman people.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Okay.
Okay, dear.
Sure.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, folks. Sometimes we misstep. Sometimes we get things wrong, but it's all really and truly about how you recover, how you fix it, accept responsibility. I don't have any problems with that. They said, yep, we didn't do what we should have done, got it wrong, whatever. And now we're going to go ahead and fix it and give back to the community as a way to apologize as well. And they've apologized. I say we move on. Next year, we will look for a better way forward. And we shouldn't be seeing this level of trash. I think the other thing that they should do is, when these bands are signing up, they need to remind them of the importance of not discarding their trash just willy-nilly in any event. This is the environment, and we have to care about our small island. Everyone out there with your derelict vehicles, your garbage bins overflowing, throwing stuff out of your cars, please stop it. Don't do it. If you see someone littering, report it, see something, say something, do something. I saw a truck, a couple of weeks ago, throwing a bottle right in 5 o'clock traffic out of the car right in Savannah. My dash cam caught him. Send it to the RCAPS. Here's an example of littering, right? Cigarette butts. You guys are just throwing stuff all over the place. I'm begging y'all to please stop it. Appreciate our island is not a universal dumping place for you guys. Stop dumping on private property. Stop dumping on the roadside, right? If you need help with trash removal, contact DEH. They can assist. They will help you get it done. There's no need to do it. There are people who will come and pick stuff up and take it to the garbage facility for you. We have got to do better. All right. So that's part of cleaning up Cayman. That should be our campaign slogan for the remainder of the year, because we need to clean up these islands in so many different ways. Immigration needs a cleanup. Our environment needs a cleanup. Good Lord. One day at a time. So thank you. Miss Marva says thank you to Brent McLean. Alejandro. Damien says, is anyone ever prosecuted for what? I mean, listen, if you send the RCIPS the actual evidence, they will, because these are just ticketable offenses normally. They will ticket people. So yeah. Remember the guy that we caught dumping? I think that one was down in West Bay and people took photos of him. That was passed on to the police and they dealt with the situation. So start taking pictures, send it to the RCAPS, and they will gladly deal with it. All right, folks. I know we had a lot of topics on today. I don't think we got through everything for sure. So tomorrow we'll pick up the conversation. I think we need to talk about caregivers. As you see, that lady was calling. We'll talk some politics tomorrow. We've got a new political party or something. We need to talk about this rock throwing, which is a very, very serious situation. People are having to deal with that. We actually reached out to the RCIPS, so maybe we'll have some additional information that can add to tomorrow's discussion as well. This is a very dangerous practice. I don't know why people are doing this. So we'll discuss that. And yeah, you guys have a fantastic day. Back in the swing of things. Got lots of work that I need to be catching up on. Summer's here for your kids. I hope you guys have some safe activities for your children. And always remember safety first. You know, if you're putting your kids in camps, make sure you trust these camps. You're asking the right questions and that you do know that they have a child safeguarding policy in place. That's the most important thing, that they're not exposing your children to harm in any way, shape, or form. All right, beautiful people. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys tomorrow morning.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.